Hey, Gateway family. It's Dr. Wall. We're so excited to join us and join you guys live here on Saturday morning, April the 12th, 2025. Can you believe it's already April this year? This is insane to me. This year is flying by very, very fast. But welcome. If right now, we're going to just wait a minute or so. A lot of people are going to be logging on, joining us live. I think this might be the record for the most people that have signed up for a virtual workshop since we've been having virtual workshops. So this is a very popular topic that we're going to be talking about today. But for you right now, before I get into the nuts and bolts of this toxicity class, I have a new setup here at my house. So I have a new microphone. I have some new headphones. I just want to make sure you guys are hearing me really well. So if you're hearing me good, if it's sound quality, it should be a lot better. If you could just mention that in the comments that, hey, Dr. Wall, we're sounding good. We're hearing you pretty well. That helps me out a lot. I just want to make sure it's not muted. That would be my fear. I'm talking and that nobody hears me. So a couple of big things. If you are joining us live, let us know in the comments. Let us know you're watching. We already got a few people, Miss Monica, Miss Ella, Ron, Betsy. So good to see you guys are watching. Okay, sounds good. Oh, hi, Miss Kathy. Good to see you as well. Miss Sharon. Okay, good. Sounds good. It should help a lot better actually with the microphone and with the headphones. So it'll sound a lot better. To you guys as well. I don't have to speak quite as loud, which is nice. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this class, but at the same time, this is going to be, hi, Miss Laura, good to see you. This is going to be an amazing workshop that is going to help a ton of people. This is a blind spot that a lot of us don't understand just how much, I would just say this, lovingly, how much poison we are putting into our bodies and different ways we get it into our body. We put it on our body. We ingest the stuff in our body, and we don't understand that the stuff isn't regulated very well, and it makes us very sick. And it affects a lot of things. It affects our nerves as well. So from a chiropractic aspect, as a corrective care chiropractor, the reason we talk about toxicity, you'll see in a minute, but in a nutshell, it's because this stuff affects the way that your body works. It can even affect the way the nervous system works by keeping you in a fight or flight state. And that's something that we do not want anybody to be in. That's not good for your health. So we're going to be getting into this, but we have to speak to about 3 groups at once. That's the only challenge that's tough with doing a virtual class. I prefer at my church in person because I get to see you guys. I can read the room a lot easier that way and make sure you guys are with me on certain aspects. Can't quite do that 100% with the virtual because I don't get to see anybody. But we speak to like 3 groups at once. So those of you watching this live, we're so pumped you're watching it live. And again, we got more people coming on. Let us know you're watching live. Let us know you're on. We love to hear from you. It just gives me a lot of joy just seeing who's joining us and taking this this topic very, very seriously. But we're speaking to a live group right now. And then we're going to have a group that's going to watch later today so it's not technically live, but they'll watch this class later today or maybe in a week or two because they're new to the office or they're catching on it. So we have that group we're speaking to as well. And hi, my Chad, you guys are both watching. Awesome. And then we're going to have a group that's not even local. We're going to have this group that's watching from different states or a different time zone, even different area. So we're going to be able to kind of navigate this and help you guys out. Oh, Stevie Montarvi, good to see you guys are on. But we're going to have this group that is we have to like tailor this to all 3 of y'all. So how a virtual class works, it's a little different than a live class, but it's a lot of fun. But just kind of to outline a couple things where we really hit this topic hard. Something that Brandon and Destiny wanted me to share with you. They're at the office right now. So is Dr. Carter. They're still finishing up shift right now, but they're available for you guys. Those of you that are veterans of our virtual classes, you've already got your order forms. You already got all the stuff you want. Go on. If you haven't already given this info to the team, go on and text this. Let me actually pop this up here. Go on and text our number, 817-886-7545 with your order forms. Take pictures of it include the whatever the last four digits of the card you have on file with us. Send that stuff to Brandon and Destiny. Do that right now. You don't have to wait on me. You can do it right now. They'll have everything in a bag waiting for you on Tuesday when you come in. Come in Tuesday, pick that stuff up ahead of time, and start the detox challenge that we're going to be unveiling. It's going to be awesome. Those of you that are new, this is your first workshop you're watching. You can wait. That's fine. Just make sure that you're texting the office. That's going to be the best way to kind of follow this stuff too, in person. Plus, you get a lot of savings involved. These are for the patients in the office. This is for you guys or people that are maybe your guests watching that live in the DFW area. You guys get the best deals on things because our office we can actually kind of set that deal. So there's a lot of savings on the detox bundles, and all of our resources are marked down as well today too. So it's not just the detox; that's just a bigger thing because that's fitting the theme. But I will say this: if you're watching later today, April 12th, as long as you put an order in through texting or calling our office or emailing us, as long as you do that by today, we still honor that sale price for everything that you want. So just take advantage of that, please. I just want you guys to save a lot, and you're taking time out of your schedule to join us. We want to honor you with a lot of savings because these resources work, they get great change, and we want you to benefit from that savings. If you're watching from out of town, there's still ways you're going to be able to participate in the office. We're going to show you ways you can actually get this stuff off our website and it be shipped to your house. So that way you won't feel like you got to look for all these things. You already have the access to these resources. And again, you can start making these changes and getting better, functioning and actually detox the right way, which is a cellular type of detox. I think I've hit everything with that too. Plus, of those of you that are guests that are local, we're going to be actually providing you an opportunity to actually come into the office and have some testing done on your nervous system. Because as you'll learn as we talk about this, your nervous system, your brain and spinal cord, your nerves have everything to do with how your body detoxes and gets rid of junk from your body. And if that system isn't working well, you're going to be struggling like I was growing up with detoxing. So we're going to help a lot in a lot of ways. So we're so excited to show you that and present to you guys all this. And then lastly, we're going to have a question and answer here at the end. So do me a favor. When I go into presentation mode, I don't see comments. They're still there. I'm going to get out of the presentation mode at the end of this workshop, and we're going to have question and answer. So if you have questions, write your questions in the comments. I'll read the questions. We'll answer them all in the Q&A. Plus, if during Q&A, if you got questions, you can answer or ask questions too. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We get a lot during this time frame, this class specifically, because it's just such a big blind spot. It kind of throws people off a little bit. So don't shoot the messenger. That's my big thing for me. I'm with you. I have everything I'm talking about today, I have personally gone through. It has been a journey, literally since 2008. It's been a journey, and you learn a lot, you fail a lot, as we have, Shanna and me. But a lot of this, we're trying to take away a lot of the frustration and just the expense, because we've made a lot of expensive mistakes thinking we were doing the right thing. We want to guide you through so you don't have to go through all that stuff, and you can actually get your body and your house and all your family members. You can stop a lot of the source of these toxins from getting into your family, into your life. And so hopefully you guys are excited about that, because I sure am. So what we're going to do, I think we've waited long enough. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. So I'm going to go into presentation mode here. So again, if you have questions, please, let's see here. There we go. Let's get into presentation mode here. Perfect. There we go. So the toxic truth. We really get this, not cockiness, but I would say we really get this feeling like, I wouldn't say we're invincible, but we get this feeling like this isn't really that big of a deal. Our FDA, our government agencies, or EPA, they've signed off on all these different things that we use on a day-to-day basis. So we're really good. And I want you to understand right from the jump here, without getting political, this is apolitical. This is more like common sense. How do we really start? There's things that are just right, no matter how you lean. politically. And again, I'm not going to get into that, but there's just stuff that we become so divisive as a country, and it just blows me away. It's sad that even things like we have to politicize better food, like less chemicals, less crap in our food supply, less pollutants in our house. Like that has to be politicized. Like really, like I don't care who you are, you should want cleaner food. You should want cleaner air, cleaner water. You should want less industry runoff. You should want less chemicals being injected into your kids. You want healthier children. You want yourself to be healthy, right? And you don't want to be spending all your money trying to buy your health back. All of us can agree we want that, right? But it gets politicized, sadly, these days. So what I want to talk about is we think that because we have certain industries, they're protecting us. They are not. And that's why I'm very happy that things are hopefully, and I give grace to the new HHS head. I give some grace here because you talk about one of the worst bureaucracies. It's Health and Human Services in the FDA, the EPA, the NIH, the CDC. Talk about trying to move the Titanic. It is all knee deep in bureaucracy, and hopefully, and there are some good things already happening, but hopefully you're going to have to give this stuff some grace because it's just so bad. The rot is so deep that it's going to take a little while to really get the ball rolling and to turn these things around because it is bad. And you're going to find out just how bad it is because the stuff that I'm talking about has been so, what's the word I want to talk about? It's been so brought to our attention just how bad things are that we just don't, it's kind of hard. It's like, what do we turn to? What do we start making these changes? So we're going to present stuff to you. I want you to take notes. However, we're going to kind of get through these things pretty quick as well because we know it's your Saturday. This is going to save to whatever you're watching, whether it's Facebook. Most of you are watching YouTube. We have some watching through Facebook, but it's going to save in about 5 minutes after I'm done. You can go back, rewatch it, pause a slide that you want more info and take the notes on it. So that's how I would approach this. So just this first go around, hear what I'm talking about. It makes sense. You're also going to need your phone because we're going to have some QR codes we're going to pop up. You're going to use your phone to scan them, and you're going to start checking your own like household cleaners, your personal care products, makeups, all that stuff, and you can see just how healthy that stuff really is, and how bad it is for you. You'll want to know. You'll actually get some definitive answers so you can make changes. And I always say, don't shoot the messenger. Like I've been there where you're at. I know this can be frustrating at first, which is why we dedicated a whole class to toxicity. We talked a lot at our makeover, but we just touched, like we put our tippy toes in when it comes to toxicity. It deserves its own class, and that's why it's just very popular, and we're excited that you guys are on live with us. So who am I if you're not a patient in the office? Most of you guys watching are, but I'm Dr. Wall. I've been in practice. This is my 18th year in Fort Worth. Love doing what I do. This is my family. This is my wife, Shanna. These are my two little ones. This is Aiden and Shayla. It's getting kind of nuts. Shayla just turned 9 last month, and Aiden this week coming up, he turns 12. So it is very surreal, a little sad, a little bit scary because I'm like, wow, they're getting older, and that means I'm getting older, which is weird. So in here, I don't feel old, but like as I see the kids get older, I'm like, holy cow, this is going by quick. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that before, but it's just time's flying by. It's a little sad. I don't like it, but it is what it is. So for a little bit about me, I have 4 degrees in health. My biology pre-med degree was when I was at Arkansas Pine Bluff. And then when I was at Parker, I got my anatomy degree, my health and wellness degree, and then my doctorate of chiropractic degree. Up until about 2020, I had a radio show I did for 10 years on 100.7 FM. It was called the Maximize Living Health Show. And it was a call-in show for the first half of those 10 years. We would have people call in during their drive, and we would answer questions, try to get them towards looking at their spine, looking at their nerves, and how to really start getting healthy and to not have to have surgeries or beyond so many medications because they're actually getting their body to heal naturally. And we had a lot of fun with that. And then now lately, you guys, if you've met us through the radio show, let us know. I always love to, and I know most of y'all that are patients that heard us at the radio show. We had such a great group of people listen to that. Lately, though, it's been Facebook, it's been Instagram, which I'm a dinosaur. I don't know much about that. But if you've heard us on Facebook or Instagram, let us know too, because we love you just the same. But it is funny how things have shifted in the last 5 to 10 years with social media. It's kind of crazy, right? So what I want to get into when we start this one's big because we talk about blind spots in our health. I find out of the 5 essentials we teach patients, and so the way we like to package our healthcare delivery system to people so they can start living a more abundant life like God designed us to, in good health. We're not meant to just be sick and miserable. We're meant to be, healing well and functioning well. That's my belief. But a lot of people walk around, they're not healing well, they're not functioning well. But the problem is we think the second we actually felt a problem, like the second we had back pain, the first time we had it, that was the first time that our body knew that there was a problem. No, it's not. It's the first time you were aware there was a problem, but it's not the first time your body knew there was a problem. They've looked into studies on this. So like the first headache you ever got before you started having, frequent headaches and then migraines, but the very first headache you got in that process, your body wasn't at like 98% functioning. It was at 60. So your first sign, that first warning sign, the first back pain, the first, heart test that showed that you had a problem, or the first cancer test that showed there was a problem, you're already at 60% function. You're not at 90, you're at 60. And that's a hard one to understand because we look at this chart, 0% function is death, right? And then 100% function is just you're living to your max. Body is functioning, all cylinders, homeostasis is going well. But this 60% part, this is where we notice our first symptom of a problem. We're aware, like consciously aware there's a problem in our body. We're already behind the 8 ball. We're here. And I want to tell you something. Health cannot be just, being symptom free, because most disease processes, they're sneaky, but especially your spine and your nerves, and especially toxicity, because both of those, you have no idea for years that these are problems that are developing in your body because you're not feeling the effects of it yet. It's going to happen. You're going to eventually feel them. The problem is you just don't know when. It could be 10 years down the road, but when you do notice it, it's really bad, and it takes a while to get yourself back. So when we talk about these toxicity issues, you can build yourself back. You can, but it takes some time. And so don't be thinking coming into this class, this is going to be like I start eating better tomorrow, or I start wearing the non-aluminum deodorant and I'm good tomorrow. It's like, no, that's great that you're going to make these changes, but you're going to have to let your body heal up and be patient with that process. But I promise you, if you're patient and you're just diligent with it, you'll see some amazing change. Plus, we got a detox challenge for you guys. We have a 30-day detox challenge. I'm going to show you at the end. You'll love it. Like, it really gets you working on each of these things every single day, and it's going to turn your life around in just 30 days. So I don't know about you guys. I'm just pumped that you guys are with me to learn this stuff and get excited about it. It's going to help you a lot. Something that I'm going to date a little bit here. We're going to go back about 100 years to Dr. B.J. Palmer. If you don't know who that is, this is a guy that was the developer of my profession of chiropractic, and I have a lot of respect for what he did. This guy was, is one of those polarizing figures that just was ahead of his time. Just what he wrote down back in the 1910s, 1920s, is stuff that we're actually scientifically validating now, just now, like 100 years later. And so he was one of the first people that really looked at these three. They were called other things, but we kind of made it easy for you guys, the 3 T's. So these are 3 ways that we mess up our nervous system and our body's healing ability. You're going to notice one is toxins, right? And so, but listen to this. 100 years ago, even BJ was like, man, the toxins back then were like poisons and chloroform and pollution, like really bad stuff back then, or some type of a drug. Now they had no idea the the artificial dyes, the corn syrups, the GMO, they had no idea it is so much worse now with toxicity and things that actually mess up the way your brain is trying to run your body. So toxins is a big one. Traumas is more like physical trauma, which it would be spine and nerve related, like you damage your spine, you subluxate it. That's going to cause bad functions to the organs that deal with detoxing. But then thoughts. He called it something back 100 years ago. He called it autosuggestion. But we put thoughts. That's what it is. It's the emotional stress. A lot of this stuff that we're constantly bombarded with, it is not good for us. It's not helping us, and it creates our body. It starts to basically toxify our body through our thought process. And again, these three things, it's like mind, body, spirit, they go together, and we want to work on, improving each one of these things, not just one of the three, but all three. Otherwise, we have big blind spots in it. And so we're going to kind of hit these things in a different way. But also acknowledge that we are just so polluted with toxins. Like it's literally, we're covered in this stuff, man. Over 100,000 chemicals are lurking in your day-to-day products. And guess what? Here's the sad reality of relying on your government to keep you healthy. Never do that. I don't care who's in charge either. This is a non-political thing. I don't care who's in charge. Never rely on government and government agencies to keep you or your family healthy or safe. I just don't trust any of them. I really don't. But for the fact of the FDA has approved these 100,000 chemicals that we're putting in our food supply, that we're spraying our crops with, that we're putting in our personal care products, that we're drinking in tap water. And these are things that are known problematic, some even carcinogenic chemicals that hurt our body. They hurt our body. Yet we trust that, oh, it's all good because it's been approved. You'll learn really fast here today that that's not the case. So the first thing is wake up to the fact that you are in charge of your health. You're in charge of your family's health. And it's up to you to look into this stuff and to start, identifying, okay, this is not good. This is good for me and my family. And to start putting these good things into your body. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble, and especially long-term. And we don't want that for you. So we're going to give you steps and solutions today that'll help you in your journey. But at the same time, like this stuff is all over the place. Matter of fact, they've looked at fetal cord blood. And if you don't know what fetal cord blood is, this is once you have your baby, you have the umbilical cord or the fetal cord still attached to the baby, and then you have the placenta. So think how amazing this God made your body, ladies especially, because you get to grow an organ for birth, for pregnancy and birth, and then you pass that organ out of your body. Your body builds its own organ. It's crazy. I've ever seen one of these things. Like I got to see both my kids being born. When the placenta comes out, it looks like an alien. Like it doesn't even look like, it looks non-earth, right? It looks crazy, but it's so full of nutrients because its job is to feed the baby and give it nutrients and clean blood. So think about this. Fetal cord blood should be the cleanest, most pure blood on the planet. The problem with toxicity, and maybe you've seen it with kids, each generation of kids are more sick than the prior because of this stuff. So 50 years ago, all these chemicals, not all, but a lot of them were approved and put into the food, put into the environment, put into our homes, put into our clothing, you name it. And for 50, 60 years, each generation has been taking in toxic levels of stuff. And the problem is these are things that don't come out of your body. You have to help them. You have to kind of get them out somehow. But when they're not, they get passed down through fetal cord blood to your kids. And so one of the reasons you might have noticed that kids are more sick now than ever, and they are, like I used to treat kids, I've always adjusted kids, but it usually was like for wellness, like parents wanted their kids just to not have to go through what they went through, and obviously getting adjusted earlier the better. But the last several years of practice, I have a lot of autistic kids. I have a lot of kids that are just, they have so much chemicals in the body. It's actually interfered with the brain function. I have kids that can't go to the restroom, that are sick all the time, that have chronic ear infections, that have all types of crazy allergies. I used to not see that stuff early on in practice. I see it all the time now. Kids, this generation of kids are their backs are against the wall. One of the big reasons, in my opinion, is they're very toxic. And the stats, when you look at fetal cord blood, this was done a few years ago. They looked at about 300 different samples of different fetal cords or umbilical cords of blood. And so they would take blood samples, tissue samples of this stuff and analyze it. So they had they had on average of these many hundreds of cords, there was an average of 200 man-made chemicals that were found or detected in the fetal cord blood. This is before the baby was even just as the baby was coming out of mommy, right, into the world. So it hadn't been exposed, but it actually had been exposed through the development through fetal cord blood. So from the jump, kids have toxins already in them. They have chemicals already in them because of this. So these things get passed down. Again, I know I'm the bearer of bad news right now, but understand the severity of this and the seriousness of what I'm talking about. So if you don't understand, they're everywhere. So they're in your house, your office, outside, more. Some of those concentrated areas of toxicity include cookware, cosmetics, storage containers, water, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, cleaning products, and a whole lot more as you'll kind of get into this. And get this, about 800 of these chemicals, they're very common, like plastics and stuff like that, for storage, for people heat up things in them. They're known endocrine disruptors. They screw with your hormones. Ladies especially, they mess up your estrogen and progesterone levels. They mess up cortisol levels. They screw with your hormones. What is an endocrine disruptor? There's different names for these things. Xenoestrogens, phytoestrogens, obesogens, because they can cause a lot of weight loss resistance. There's names for these things, but they all are called, they're an endocrine disruptor. They mess with your hormones. That's not good. And so these are things we use or you use on a day-to-day basis. You think they're fine, but you're putting them on your face and your mouth. You're covering your skin in them every day. And a little bit of that gets through your skin every day, and you accumulate toxins this way, right? So this isn't like a poison where you ingest poison and you die very fast, right? Thank goodness. But these are slow. So they a little bit gets into your bloodstream each time you do it. And then that just starts to stack up over time. And then 10, 15 years down the road, you're like, why is this stuff happening to me? What happened? And you have these just interesting, odd, very serious health issues that nobody can explain, right? You've been to a doctor and they're like, I don't know what's going on with you. This is interesting. Usually that's a toxicity problem that's been going on for a long time. If you don't know, toxic exposure is linked to a lot of things. A very weakened immune system, number one. Allergies, asthma, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, autism, ADHD, ADD, birth defects, cancer, hormone balances, reproductive disorders. I'm going to put a pin in this one. We're going to talk about this for a second. Alzheimer's, dementia, there's a rise of that. I mean, these are things at staggering rises now. Autoimmune issues, again, that's at all-time highs. Neurological disorders, anxiety, depression, and mental health issues. Wouldn't you know that the more toxic your body is, the more chemicals are in it? Sometimes a lot of this is medication somebody's been taking. And again, when I talk about this, it's not to bash anybody. It's not. I think there's time and a place for medication. Don't get me wrong. It's to save your life in a crisis. Thank God we have it. The problem is the way medicine was researched, the way that it was given 50 years ago is not how it's given now. It wasn't. Doctors were more doctorish 50 years ago than they are now. Now it's more like you have these symptoms, here's a drug. You have these symptoms, here, take a drug. And then all of a sudden you're on 5 or 6 different drugs and nobody's really, okay, does this interact with this? What side effects does this one cause? Nobody's telling patients this stuff, and they don't understand that sometimes all the problems they're having is because they're on a ton of medication and that's causing all the side effects. So again, things have changed in the last 50 years. It's not what it used to be. But the anxiety, depression, mental health stuff, that's at all-time highs as well. And all we're doing for people in this is we're just forcing drugs down their throat, and we're never doing anything to actually build up the body's health. And that's where I have issues with, so to speak, that type of care. I don't like that. Reproductive disorders. This is something that's also at all-time high. And It's sad. We have lower sperm counts for males than we've ever had. Think of that. That's insane. We have more low egg counts for ladies than we've ever had is in our country. And it's harder to get pregnant. It's harder not just to get pregnant because now ladies tend to have a miscarriage or two before they actually carry to full term. That's becoming more common with ladies now, and it's very very sad when that happens and very tragic. But like I really believe this is a toxicity problem. There's just so much toxins in the body that it really makes it hard to get pregnant these days. And we're seeing we have low birth rates. I think the lowest we've ever had as a country right now. There's a lot to this, and toxins play a big role in it. So, how do we really? You need to first recognize, yeah, if I'm having a couple different parts of these symptoms, I might have a toxicity issue, right? So, how does our body deal with toxins? Again, we're designed to handle toxins, eliminate them through our body through different organs and pathways. It's amazing. Thank goodness we have these things. So, if you didn't notice or didn't know this, toxins enter our body primarily through three ways: through the lung tissue, so through your nose, through your mouth, through your lungs, and they get trapped by mucus and stuff like that. Then they're sent to your liver, which is your main detoxifying organ. All right, you need your liver working really well. Or the skin, which is your body's largest organ, right? Things get into your body through your skin. You absorb, 15-20% of whatever's on your skin, you absorb that into your body. And then your gut, your specifically your small intestine, it gets into our bodies those ways. Then those toxins go to the liver, and the liver's job is to detox, is to get this stuff out of your body. It filters these things. It figures out what's good, what's bad. It gets the bad stuff out, and your toxins will exit your body through four ways: through your skin, through your kidneys, through your colon, or through your lungs. Like you'll cough stuff out, right? It's trapped in mucus. You'll hack it out. That's how your body gets rid of toxins. Now, this is a great system, and it works really well. But what if we're getting bombarded with toxins? The average person comes into contact with several thousand chemicals every single day. We're talking from getting up in your own house, from what you eat in the morning, what you drink in the morning, what you brush your teeth with, what you shower with, what things you put on to clean your body, the makeups, the colognes, the fragrances, the deodorants that you put on your body to leave your house. We get bombarded with stuff. Over time, our body can't eliminate it like it's designed to eliminate. So what we have going on is this excess toxins. They get stored in our body, and they get stored in our body. Whoop, let me put that up here. There we go. They get stored in our body depending on what type of toxins they are. So if you have fat soluble toxins, these are the ones like pesticides, hormones, like hormone replacement drugs, stuff like that. Heavy metals are another big one. They're fat soluble, means they're really hard to get out of your body. They have an affinity for your fat cells, which isn't good because fat cells expand when they are holding toxins. So if we have trillions of fat cells expanding, that's not good for our body. Like we expand, we don't want that. They get trapped in bone marrow. Again, not very good for cancer risk, liver. And then this is a big one. They get trapped in your nervous system, in your brain. So it literally can mess up the way your brain is talking to your body. Now, the water soluble toxins, like, for example, different chemicals, vapors, nicotine, these have an affinity for your joints, for your blood, for your tissues, and for muscle. So they get stored. So we want to start pulling these things out of our body. So how do we start this process, right? And so we kind of left it, or we kind of put 5 steps to this. So 5 steps to kind of terminating your toxins, cutting out processed foods, checking your house. Stressing less is very stressful. We'll talk about that, and electromagnetic radiation, and how the technology, we need a detox from technology would be very good. How we need to sweat out toxins. We need to sweat more, and we need to keep our spine in its proper alignment so our nerves aren't being messed with, and they can actually run our organs of detoxification and we can actually heal at optimal. So we're going to talk about these 5 steps. So hopefully you're just as excited about this as I am, because I think we'll learn a lot, and I think we're going to have a lot of resources for you to help you hit these goals. Because in the beginning, again, first timers, in the beginning, it can be confusing. But I promise you, if you have questions, ask them in the comments. We're going to do a Q&A here at the end, and we will answer those questions. And there's not bad questions. I'm telling you, everybody is thinking that question that you have, but you're the brave one that asked the question. So please ask. I promise you, we love having those questions, and we want to help you guys. So step 1 is cutting out processed foods. So, man, this is one I'm very hopeful for with the new regime change at HHS. I'm really hopeful that we start pulling so many things out as we possibly can. So there's some good news, but some things are just going to take some time. But understand, there's 10,000 approved chemicals in our food supply. It's not even food. This stuff isn't even food. This is artificial food. This is not technically food. It's categorized. People call it food. People think of it as food. Some of this stuff, like the Gatorade, people think is healthy. No, it's not. It is just trash, and it does nothing but damage your body. None of this stuff you're looking at on the screen is healthy, like in any sense. None of it is. So there's going to be some key words you look for with the food you eat that you need to recognize it's going to be bad for your body, and it's going to be probably a chemical that's going to cause your body harm. So if you look on the back of labels, and so can we kind of start from this, from a standpoint, you'd really want to eat more foods that don't have labels at all, meaning they're fruits or vegetables, or they're clean meats and dairy, clean fruits and vegetables. You want like, blueberries. That's the ingredient. The ingredient on grass-fed beef is beef, and that's all that's in there. Maybe some salt, with the beef, but that's all you want in there. Your body knows how to digest that. It knows how to eliminate that. It knows how to take all the good out of that, get rid of whatever the waste is, and it doesn't stress your intestines. It doesn't stress your liver at all. Your body loves that. But when you start looking at, foods that have a ton of labels, they have a lot of ingredients in them, and you look and you're like, that sounds like a science experiment. This is stuff you don't want to eat. You don't want to put in your body. You don't want to put on your body. Ladies, guys, but most ladies, you have a harder time. There's more stuff you guys put on your skin. You don't want to. It needs to be very clean, less chemical stuff. So when you see the words low fat on any type of food product, don't eat it. Low fat's going to be, it's got hydrogenated oils. It's going to be a non-healthy oil. It's going to be an inflammatory oil that has low fat in it. Probably going to have artificial sugars in it as well. 0 calories, guaranteed artificial sugars are going to be in that to give it these 0 calories. It doesn't mean, just because it's 0 calories doesn't mean it's healthy for you. It doesn't mean, like, just calorie counting in general isn't healthy for you. It's going to have the rainbow of death. It's going to have like the NutraSweet, the Splenda, the Sweet and Low, aspartame, whatever you want to call it. It's going to have those things in it. Those are neurotoxic. They're not good for your brain cells. And the more 0 calorie foods you eat, the more weight you're going to gain, because those artificial sweeteners, they actually create weight loss resistance in your body. You'll gain weight from those things by trying to go 0 calorie. Crazy, right? Bright colors of your drinks, especially, or foods, those bright colors are due to dyes like red dye, blue dye, yellow dye. These things are known to cause cancer in animal testing. It's crazy, but yet we'll drink it in our Gatorade. Like, Gatorade is not healthy. People, when I say drink electrolytes to patients, the last thing I want you drinking is Gatorade. Gatorade is corn water, because the first ingredient is corn syrup. So it's genetically modified corn syrup you're drinking, and it's sugar, and it's got all these artificial dyes in it. It's the least healthy thing you could drink. That's not good. You need a detox from drinking that Gatorade, right? So there are better options like a coconut water, or just there have some electrolyte powders you can put in water that are not toxic, that give your body those electrolytes. So addictive additives. So things like sucralose, MSG, dyes, corn syrup, artificial ingredients. This is not food. This stuff is toxic to your cells. And it's like, what type of cells do you want to make? Do you want to make these artificial food cells that are just loaded with chemicals, or do you want to make cells from like, berries or healthy meats, single ingredient foods that your body knows, like fruits and vegetables, that your body knows how to at least process it and eliminate it well. It's kind of obvious, right? But we talk about things getting changed, but it's just taking a while. You got to understand the bureaucracy of this. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration's finally banning. I don't know if you've read this. This is pretty big a couple months ago. They're banning the food dye Red 3 from use in foods, beverages, oral drugs, and dietary supplements. Kind of amazing that you'd find this stuff in a dietary supplement, but yes, that the junk is in your supplements too. The bad news is that it's not taking effect until 2028. 3 years from now. It blows me away. It's like, could you just get it out faster? No. That's what I'm talking about. These changes that need to happen. We have there's never been a time like now to actually make some good change to the health of America. There really hasn't. And you got probably the best window. It's going to be about a 1 to 2 year window to make some changes that are long lasting. And I hope it gets done. I'm optimistic. I'm not blind faith, but I'm optimistic that things will get done. But like, it's turning the Titanic, people. This is stuff that just banning red dye. How about we ban all the dyes from they're all bad, but check this out. The FDA has known this stuff causes cancer since 1990. When the FDA itself determined, they banned it from cosmetics back in 1990. They knew it caused cancer to animals then, but they have approved it for the last 38 years. It's going to be in your food and drink supply that you and your kids might be eating and drinking. So thank you, FDA. That's why I'm just like, I don't trust any of these people, right? I don't. And so what are the most common toxic foods that bombard our body with these chemicals that don't get out? Well, your fried foods. Obviously, those are going to be hydrogenated oils. They denature whatever protein you fry it in, or whatever food is getting fried is going to be denatured. Now, some exceptions to this would be like if you have like an air fryer, you can use like coconut oil or avocado oil or beef tallow. You can use all those. And those, it doesn't denature the food. They're very high heat taking oils. You can get away with a little bit of an air fryer type of a meal if you have a healthy oil you're doing it with. But really, if you're going to like a fast food place and it's fried, like, don't eat that stuff. That stuff is not, it's caked in chemicals. It's not good for you. Packaged foods have the most chemicals in them. Read the back. If it's a paragraph of chemicals, don't eat it. It's not healthy for you. Genetically modified organism foods. So if you don't know what GMO foods are, I did a newsletter this past week on GMO foods, and there's a lot of them, but there's really three main categories. You have the Bt toxin corn category. And so this is most corn. Most corn is subsidized by our government in the form of genetically modified corn. So it's cheaper for farmers to use this for feed. And so they'll do it because it's cheaper, it's subsidized, but it's not healthy for animals. It's not healthy for humans. So with Bt toxin corn, this is the corn has a built-in insecticide called Bt toxin in it. And when insects try to eat the corn, their intestines explode. That's what it's engineered to do. And some idiot thought this would be a great idea for humans to eat, and said it was, generally recognized as safe. Let's feed the humans with this stuff because it holds up longer. You don't have as many of these crops getting destroyed by insects. So we eat that. I'm telling you right now, it's not good for your gut at all. It's not good for your body. But that's one form of genetically modified GMO. The other form is going to be a Roundup Ready soybean. And so if you don't know what Roundup is, it's glyphosate is the chemical name for Roundup. Glyphosate is used to, it's a killer. It kills everything. It kills bacteria in the soil. It kills any plant you put it on. It kills weeds. It kills everything. So you have this giant dead spot in your grass. But again, some idiot thought this was a great idea. Let's engineer soy plants because we use soy for so many things, soybean oil, all that stuff. Let's engineer the soy plant to withstand Roundup being sprayed on it. So everything else will die except the soybean plant, and we can spray a enormous amount more glyphosate on it because it won't die. And so we won't have to worry about losing those crops. But again, we're eating that stuff. And glyphosate is known as a carcinogenic chemical. It causes cancer. Monsanto and Bayer are being sued through the wazoo by, I think it's like 50,000 people filed a class action lawsuit. It causes non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So watch that. And then the third type of GMO crop, now again, corn and soy are, if it's not organic, it is genetically modified in our country. You need to be aware of that. If you're just getting, conventional corn, guaranteed it's not, or it's genetically modified. So you got to just don't eat the corn and the soy. Make sure it's organic at a minimum. Then the third one is the growth promoters. You'll see these like bioengineered ingredients on your labels, and they're very small. So when you're looking at produce, when you're looking at frozen produce, box foods, read all of the back of the package. It's going to be in little fine print. It's going to say this product contains bioengineered ingredients. You have genetically modified organisms in that food. Don't eat it. Just don't eat it. It's not worth it. Don't eat it. The third one is going to be the growth promoters. Those are the ones that actually make like the tomatoes more red, or they make the apple bigger than it really is. You get these giant pieces of fruit. They're not as nutrient dense as organic anyways, but like you get this frankenfood. We don't know what that does to the body. It hasn't really been tested or studied very much. We don't know if it makes, if it promotes cancer growth. We don't know that. So just stay away from genetically modified foods. One of the worst things you can put in your body for toxicity and health reasons. Artificial colors, same thing. The rainbow of death, I like to call it. Just stick with, you can do stevia to a lesser extent. You can do xylitol. You can do erythritol. There's even a little bit of monk fruit, a little bit of honey, maple syrup, like just, not a ton of it, but those are at least foods that your body can recognize and break down. The artificial stuff, it doesn't recognize, right? It doesn't do that. Artificial sweeteners, artificial colors, it doesn't. These are toxic foods. So if you've ever wondered why we talk a lot about food, the source matters, and then how things are put together matters. The stuff that's very processed to have a long shelf life, that has the most chemicals. That's just the rule of thumb. The longer the shelf life, the more chemicals it has to have in it to last that long. You want food that's going to spoil if you don't eat it in a week. Like you want that. That means that it's not loaded with chemicals, right? So I know not everybody loves to hear that statement, but like if your food spoils, like that's good. That means it's not loaded with chemicals. So I don't know how else to say that, guys. I love you. So forgive me on saying that. But we have something called the advanced plan. Now, I'll tell you, I do think that there's not like one plan that everybody needs to be healthy. I think there's ones that work better for most people. That's where I'm at on our advanced plan. I think it just helps because it follows some big rules of our body. Number one is it's more high fat focused. It's more protein, healthy protein focused, and it's more low in the carbohydrate focus, and it works really well for people. So we actually have, if you do not have a book for our office for the advanced plan, we have these grocery lists and recipe books at the office. You can actually put an order in for those here right now and get that. It lays out all these principles into the nutrition and how that works. But the big standpoint on this is if you are a animal eater, if you're more animal based, you're doing grass-fed, grass-finished meats, you're doing wild-caught fish, you're doing pasture-raised, poultry and eggs, butters, all that stuff. You're doing very good source animal products. If you are more vegetable-based, more plant-based, you're doing very low-carb veggies and fruits. And then you're eliminating, regardless of what you are on this, you're eliminating a lot of the refined carbohydrates, and you're lowering your sugar intake a ton. These are principles, and you're doing a lot of healthy fat. Like whether you're plant-based or animal-based, doesn't matter. You need healthy fat. Like you need it. You need more than you can possibly think, because we're very deficient as a country on this stuff. So you want to be putting in as much healthy fat as you possibly can. So what are healthy fats? Real simple. There's really like 5 of them that I would make sure you're getting into your body on not just a daily basis, but an every meal basis. Coconut oil is awesome. Avocado oil is awesome. Olive oil is very good. Olive oil you don't heat up though. Olive oil would be for like a dressing or a dip, but you don't heat olive oil because that will make olive oil not healthy for you. But avocado, coconut, you can high heat. On the animal-based side, tallow is amazing. Lard is amazing. Grass-fed butter. You are putting these fats into you at every meal, and you'll be amazed at how good your hormones will like that extra fat because hormones are made from your fat. They're made from cholesterol, and so they're made from fat. And when we go low fat, it's one of the worst things you can do for your mental health. It's one of the worst things you can do for your physical health. It's one of the worst things you can do for your hormonal health. Not just ladies, guys too. It affects guys quite a bit with testosterone. But ladies, it's really going to mess up your estrogen and progesterone levels if you're doing low fat. So I know it's a different mindset. A lot of this it's hard to hear the first time, which is why I suggest you rewatch this, but also get the resources that give you the science with what I'm saying. Get our mini book set. It gets into the science of the grocery list, how to shop at the grocery store, what to look for, what ingredients are good, what are bad, how to make these recipes, which is why I really like it. So if you're wondering, well, how do I make something that fits into this plan? Get the recipe book, let Brandon or Destiny know, get that book. I mean, it helps a lot. And again, it gets into it's so divisive. We got to be divisive in nutrition too. We got to be divisive in everything is what it looks like these days. So you got to have I'm of the opinion you don't have such a polarizing opinion on nutrition here. So whether you are more plant-based, whether you're more animal-based, you both these groups there's blind spots that you got to watch out for. You can get into a lot of trouble with both groups, right? Or if you're kind of in the middle, you kind of do a little bit of animal, a little bit of plant, you still got to watch out for those. That's going to be huge. So with that being said, so if you are more animal-based, thank you very much. When you're more animal-based, you have to watch what the animals are eating. So you've heard the term "you are what you eat." Well, you are what they ate. So the reality of the situation is when it comes to animals, they're getting fed very different things than they would actually eat out in the wild. So with chickens, for instance, they're typically they're not just out there eating bugs, and they're not out there eating, dirt and grass and junk. They're a forager. They eat stuff on the ground. They pasture raise, but they eat mostly bugs. If they're not eating that stuff and you're feeding them some type of like corn feed, that is not what they're designed to eat. And typically that's chemical corn. That's BT, GMO corn they're eating. That's not going to be a healthy animal. Same thing with cattle. They're supposed to be eating grass and hay and foraging out in the open pasture. They're not supposed to be eating, grain and or corn, chemically sprayed grain, but that's what they're fed. It fattens them up faster. But that doesn't mean that's a healthier cow. When you eat that meat from animals that are not, taken care of very well, when you eat the meat, you're accumulating through what's called bioaccumulation. You're accumulating all those toxins at a higher degree because the animals have actually, chewed through that, and now it's in their body. The smaller chemicals are in their body, and that gets upgraded into our body. So remember, we're the apex predators. We are the highest on the food chain. So we get hit the hardest with this stuff. Now, if you're going, hey, I don't eat animals. All I eat is vegetables. I'm in the clear. No. You're in trouble too, because you're eating foods that have been sprayed to death by glyphosate. It's on everything. You have to really watch this. So you have to watch and read your labels. Make sure there's no bioengineered ingredients in your corn or your squash or your whatever vegetables you eat. Make sure there's no they're not GMO. Make sure it's organic at a minimum. Make sure it's not getting sprayed. And so these are both big things that you got to look out for. Plus, I'll even say there's another level on top of this. The soil. Soil is so deficient in nutrients. It is. It's just the food we're getting from the soil these days does not have the nutrients that it had maybe 30, 40 years ago. The University of Texas has looked into this. They looked into this in 2013, and they looked at samples of different crops. They had spinach, they had apples, they had berries, and they compared it to samples that they had from decades ago. And what they found out was, get this, they found out that if you had 2 apples, 30 years ago, you would have to eat 6 to 7 apples now to get the same nutrients that you would have got from 2 apples, 30, 40 years ago. You'd have to eat almost triple the amount to get the same nutrients. So think about that. Even organic, right? Even organic. So when I hear people say, like, we can just get everything we need from food and we don't need to supplement, that's not true anymore. That was true for your parents and definitely true for your grandparents, but that's not true right now. It could be further from the truth. The truth now is what you're eating, and you still want to eat healthy, right? You still want good food, but you're just not getting the nutrients. You can't eat enough, right? So something that's this whole nother level of when we talk about supplementing, we want to regenerative farm our supplements, so to speak, in our foods. What does that mean? Well, modern farming practices has led to depleted soil, like we talked about. Studies show that our food now has lower levels of nutrients than in the past. Regenerative farming focuses on repairing the nutrients in our soil, leading to more nutrient-dense food. Essentially, you're getting everything by putting more minerals into the soil. By letting areas take a break and not just putting crop on top of crop on top of crop, sucking all the nutrients out of the soil, now you get healthier food. You get more nutrient-dense food. Now you don't have to eat 7 apples. You only have to eat 1 because you're getting what is supposed to be in that apple, right? And what's great is there's more farming happening this way. But again, it's a fraction of what farming has been happening over the last 30, 40 years. So there's not a lot of these farms around, but there are some. One thing that I like about our supplements, especially you might have noticed we have a Pure Path label supplements. Pure Path is regenerative farmed. So all those nutrients that are in our Pure Path line, it's sourced from soil that has been regenerative farmed. It's actually in Missouri and it's in Tennessee. So years ago, we would have to source a lot of our stuff out of the country. We'd go get curcumin from India, right? Because they have really good turmeric there. We would get our whey protein. We would go get it from grass-fed cows in Sweden, where they were out, healthy grass, making the best butter out there, making, they're eating hay when it's snowing. Now we can incorporate that here in America, which is really great. So it's America. It's nothing is shipped in. It's all in one spot. And then we have labs now that are on these properties that are making the supplements. And it's really from seed to soil to supplement. There's no middleman. There's no excess traveling. So it's really made things way better for our patients, for me too, because I take this stuff myself and my family, but it just helps a lot. So having better nutrient-dense foods and having better nutrient-dense supplements, you're going to get more out of your nutrition. So when it comes to that, top detoxifying nutrients, these are important. These are things that, again, we have at our disposal that our body can use to eliminate toxins out of our body. So, for instance, magnesium is a great detoxer. Magnesium is one of those things that helps relax the bowels, or the walls of the intestinal lining. It helps bind to toxins, gets them out of your body safely. Chlorella is another one. Chlorophyll, a version of chlorella. It's like the green juice. Everybody's kind of scared of drinking that. But I'll tell you, chlorophyll and chlorella, very helpful at minimizing radiation in your body. If you didn't know this, if you ever watched the Marvel movies, the real good ones, the first few were really good, but go watch Iron Man 2. It's kind of neat when you're kind of nerdy and you see stuff, you're like, I know why they did that. That makes sense. That's really cool. Well, for Iron Man 2, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is the actor. His power supply to his suit that's in him was too much radiation. It was killing him slowly. and you started to see like all this black stuff coming out from whatever that thing was called, the power supply, and he's slowly dying from radiation poisoning. Well, what he's trying to do before he fixes that, he's trying everything to stop the radiation poisoning to kind of keep him living longer. And you see him drinking these green drinks all the time in the beginning of the movie, and he talks about it. He's like, I'm drinking like 5 of these chlorophyll shakes to stop this radiation. And just from a nerd standpoint, I'm like, I know why he's doing that. That helps with radiation. It helps minimize the effects of radiation. So chlorophyll is really good at doing that. Superoxidized dismutase, that's a big antioxidant coming from melons that helps clean your cells out of your body. Psyllium husk and activated charcoal, or you'll hear another word for that is activated carbon, or that those are binders. They bind to toxins. They get them out of your intestines safely. So these are very good nutrients to get in you. Now the problem is, I don't know if you've ever drank green juice. It's not the best taste. I don't know if you've ever gnawed on some psyllium husk or chewed on some charcoal. Like, it's hard to stomach that and get it down. So it's best to get these in a supplement, in a capsule form. That's the better way to take this stuff. You are a tough person if you've chewed on psyllium husk. It's kind of just making a joke of it. But like, these are things that you want to get in supplement form. And what's even crazy about supplements is they're not all equal. Are your supplements toxic? Are they causing problems? Because just like makeup, the FDA doesn't regulate supplements very well these days. And one of the problems is they're loaded with junk. These are, like I said, the supplements are loaded with dyes, they're loaded with colors, they're loaded with additives, fillers, and in really cheap forms of nutrients. And then they tout them as being healthy. One of the things that I went to years ago, one of our labs, before we had Jordan Rubin's lab in Missouri and in Tennessee, we have, and they still make a couple things. It's the Vita Labs in Las Vegas. I actually went back in 2018. I was part of the Nutrition Advisory Council for Max Living. We would travel. We had a lot of influence into what was in our supplements, how to make things. You learn so much when you learn about manufacturing supplements. Everybody thinks they know, like, okay, this is really good, this is a good ingredient, but how do you manufacture that to where it's stable, right? I didn't know that. And so I learned a lot at this visit to the labs. We spent the whole day there learning how things are made, processes, but one thing that stuck out to me a lot was just how badly regulated supplements are. Meaning, it's the Wild West. Don't believe. He had a Wayne Gorsuch was the lead scientist there. He owns Vitacost, or he did own Vitacost Labs. He was studying these things, and he was looking under. He was doing analysis, and lab work on supplements, because he was calling out, like, he had Amazon was his biggest competitor, and Amazon had this number one selling curcumin supplement. And curcumin's a very popular supplement. We carry a curcumin ourselves, but this was a $50 a month curcumin supplement. And it said it had, I don't know how much curcumin, and it said it had however many milligrams it had. He goes, check this out. He looked under all this testing. He analyzed the amount in this capsule. And in reality, it wasn't 1,000 milligrams, we'll just say. It was 1% of it. It was 100 milligrams, not 1,000. So they actually wrote 1,000 milligrams on it, and when he tested it, it was 100. So it was only 10% bioavailability into your body. So people were taking this thing, paying a lot. It was the number one selling curcumin on Amazon at the time, and it was not doing what it said it would do to them. Isn't that crazy? So I learned a lot about that, and I learned that you don't get 100% absorption on any vitamin. You don't. But if you can get about 95% absorption on a vitamin, you are getting your money's worth. It's absorbing into your body very well. You're going to utilize it, and there's not going to be waste. But you'd be amazed. It's the wild, wild west out there. So what I did, I have a slide comparison. This will really hit my point home. The slide on the right, if you look here, this is a multivitamin. So is the one on the left. The one on the left is our new women's multivitamin, which is Pure Path. So a lot of our stuff is getting switched out to Pure Path. If we're like at 70% of our whole line is the regenerative farming sources. So they did this with the multivitamin about almost a year ago. But this is the women's, and this over here is a one a day. It's universal apparently because men and women need the same. I don't know, that's just not true. But this is a one a day, and when you compare them, this is what gets really crazy because the one a day is the gummy, and you're like, well, it's not 100% apples to apples. And I promise you, I was at Walgreens. We were picking up some supplies for the office, and I'm like, let me go find a multivitamin, just take a picture of what's on the back. They don't have capsule multivitamins. They have gummies now. So we've gotten so lazy as a country that give me the gummy. The gummy is going to help me get well. Nothing is good. It's very rare that gummies are good for you. They're usually caked in sugar and corn syrup. So this is how we compare. I know it's not apples to apples, but bear with me. I'm making a point here. Look at the back of this multivitamin. This thing was huge because these gummies were big. So we look at it, and right off the bat, something's not adding up. This is not a complete multivitamin. You have a few vitamins. You got a couple of minerals, but it's not a lot amount. And they're not telling you what type of vitamin A, what type of vitamin C, what type of vitamin E, what type of B6, what type of folate are you getting? That's a problem. When they don't tell you, it's not a good form. It's just a cheap form, and that's how they get away with it. They say, it's got a lot of vitamin C. Are you absorbing any of that? No, because it's in a really bad form of, it's like ascorbic acid, which is just a synthetic form. But here's where it gets the kicker. Look at the ingredient list on this. This is what this thing is mostly made of. This is the fillers that's in that caps or in the gummy to keep it as a gummy. So the first ingredient, which is the most used or the most ingredient in it, is the first one labeled. It's glucose syrup. It's straight sugar juice. It's sugar syrup. And then it's more sugar. Then it's gelatin. Then you got some water in there, which is, thank God there's a little water in there. But then you have ascorbic acid, which is synthetic vitamin C. Then you got artificial flavors. You have beeswax and carnauba wax. So if you're going to polish your surfboard, you use carnauba wax. Then it gets into the vitamins. But before it gets into the vitamins, I know it's hard to see it with the glare, but you got artificial dyes. You got the red dyes. You got the F and D and C yellow dye, blue dyes. You have the form of the vitamins. Oh, wait, there's sucralose in there. So you got some Splenda. You got artificial sugar in there. You got really bad forms of B vitamins. They're not methylated. They're cyanocobalamin. So that's a cyanide derivative form. And then at the very, just add topping to the cake here, right? It contains wheat. So this is going to, if you have any type of sensitivity to gluten, this is going to upset your stomach and bloat you. That's what's passing as a multivitamin these days. What I like about ours, there's the transparency is next level. Look at the form. So not only there's a lot more in the multivitamin, but the forms are just better. Vitamin C is alma fruit extract. It's not ascorbic acid. All the B vitamins are methylated. They're not. It helps with absorbability in your body. The calcium is calcium. I think it's calcium citrate. Yeah, it's calcium citrate. It's not calcium carbonate. So it's just a much better nutrient-dense form. Also, this has stuff tailored towards ladies. You'll notice there's a big difference in between the men's and the women's multivitamins, guys. Women need certain more nutrients than men do, and vice versa. Like this is going to be the burdock and the blueberry root. This is going to be for energy for ladies. It's an energy blend you have in it. And then the other thing is the ingredients. Look at this. You have the capsule. That's what it's the form of it. And then you have some bamboo extract, kind of like rice extract. It's it's a filler. But that's helped get this stuff as a powder into your body. That's all it has. Like, it doesn't have to have a scientific thesis here of ingredients. It's got 2 extra ingredients. That's what I want in my body. Very clean stuff that's not going to, I'm going to have to detox from it. That's one of the many reasons why your supplements could be creating problems in your body too. So that being said, let's really get into our house. That's where we want to start because it's just toxic. Just according to the EPA, indoor air is between 2 to 100 times more toxic than outdoor air. Why is that? Well, you're going to find out why our homes are just a slew of toxins and chemicals. And a lot of people, we have sick homes. We're going to get into this. This is why you're going to have your phone on you in a second. You're going to be using it to look at a QR code, and then you're going to start checking your things in your house. So let's kind of get to the basic stuff that I think will really help you. Let's clean up our air quality in our house. So how do we do that? Well, remember, we have these things called PBDEs, which are flame retardant chemicals. They're all in our house. They're in our furniture. They're on our clothing. They're on our mattresses. They're in our house, and we breathe these chemicals in on a daily basis. Think about when you're sleeping. Is your mattress, is it made out of flame retardant chemical? It'll say on the tag if it is or not, but you're breathing that in every day. That's not good for your health. And then when we spend about 90% of our life indoors, that's a sad stat I think in general, we need to be getting outside. Like, we're not designed just to be in our house all day. Don't be a hermit. But we're in our house where we have a sick house, we get into trouble. So how do we clean up our air? Very easy. Number one, that again is something that you can do today. It's a beautiful day right now. Every morning, open up a few windows, even if it's just a crack. Just crack windows open in the front and in the back of your house so you can get a full like airstream going through the house. And you're getting in all this clean air coming into your house, and you're getting rid of the stale air that's in your house out of your house. Super easy to do. And there's something about just fresh air in your house. It's full of life, right? Do that regularly. Very big. If you get new furniture, if you get a new mattress, before you lay on it, don't cover it up. Let it fumigate or off gas by opening up windows and just letting it off gas. That's going to be huge too. That way it's not so strong of a smell when you lay on it. A lot of that stuff is out of your house. Very big. Houseplants. There's several of them. I'm not a houseplant expert, but I can tell you we have houseplants in every room of our house, almost every room. But snake plants, I know, are one of the highest oxygen producing plants you can get. They soak up carbon dioxide and they spit out oxygen. They're great house plants for cleaning up your air. Also, air purifiers are a must. There's different ones out there. I have Medify Air in my house. I have two of them, one big one downstairs, one big one upstairs. That's what we have in our practice is a Medify Air. It's out in the hot seat area. You can see it. It's one of the best air purifiers I've ever had. I've had a lot of them. It's very cost effective, and there's not a lot of maintenance to keep it up. It lasts between filter changes at my house. It'll last about 4 months. At the office, it's about 3 months before I got to change the filter out. But they do a great job. And you don't have to do Medify. Blue Air is good. IQ Air, IntelliPure, Ultrafine Air. Those are all great, brands to do. But again, it's insane. We are. If you've ever been to my house, you can ask Brandon. Because Shanna is Brandon's sister. It's funny because our house is extreme. Like, we are so OCD about a clean house that even when we have to clean our house, it looks clean. Like, it's to the naked eye, you're like, what are you weird? Like, your house looks clean, but we clean it regularly, obviously, and we keep it very, very minimal. So even in doing that, and even having purifiers in 3 bedrooms, we have 2 big ones upstairs and downstairs. We have plants all over our house. We change out the air filters in our house. We have 2 big ones we change out. I do that every 3 months. We get the expensive ones that last 3 months. Even doing all of that, when we change these filters, they're dirty. They're just dirty. We're like, how is this dirty? Like, we change it all the time. But we have 2 dogs, and it's amazing. Stuff gets up into your HVAC system. We had our HVAC system completely cleaned a year ago, and it's just insane, all the stuff that was in the HVAC system. We're like, how does that happen? We clean all the time. The reality is you live in Texas, and there's a lot of dust, a lot of stuff in the air, and it gets in your house. And if you never clean your house, if you never clean the filters, you never clean the HVAC system, you're breathing in this stuff over and over and over again. So just a big, helpful tip: clean up your air. It makes a huge difference. Water quality, that's another big one too. This was something really big that we did, and this was kind of like a 3-step process that we did. So with water quality, number one, the water is awful. In your tap, in your faucets, it has fluoride in it. By now, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but fluoride is finally getting its comeuppance. It's never been healthy for your teeth. It's never been healthy for your body. It's a neurotoxin. It's very bad for your brain. Well, the EPA just lost a 7-year lawsuit against them. And that's why you're seeing all this talk about pulling fluoride out of your water supply. Fluoride lowers your IQ levels. So the more tap water you drink, the worse your IQ drops. And it's actually even worse with kids. It affects kids that drops the IQ faster. So because of that, there's several counties in the United States have pulled fluoride from the tap water, which is a great start. Utah just became the first state to completely ban fluoride from their water supply. Again, this is great. This is a great thing. I'm hoping that the whole country gets rid of the fluoride being put in our water supply. But right now it's still in water. It's still in the water supplies in most counties, most places. And also you have chlorine in the water. You have hard water. So you'll notice this if you've taken a shower and you itch, you just scratch yourself getting out of the shower, you have hard water. There's a lot of just, metals and stuff in there you need to get out. So there's ways to get around this. It's kind of a 3-step process. So we got all 3 ways. I did this myself, the 3-step process. The first step was, I started getting, you can get a purified, just a small purification, like a Pure for your faucet or a Berkey's, something like that. If you're like in an apartment or something like that, that helps. At least you get some pretty filtered water that way, or a shower filter. They got really nice ones now. They last about 4 or 5 months. You got to change the filter, but at least it's blocking the chlorine from getting onto you. It doesn't stop the hardness, but it at least stops some of the chlorine. However, we noticed that it wasn't where we wanted it to be. We wanted a better system entirely. And so we looked at whole house purification systems. And we had a company. We have a RainSoft system in our house. There's other ones out there. There's a real good one called Eco Water System. Very similar as far as it pulls out all the hardness of the water, all the chlorine, all the fluoride, all that stuff gets pulled out. But we went to the full house system, which we really, really enjoy. And it just doesn't matter. It comes in through the house. It's, we got a system set up in our backyard, and any faucet we turn on, the water is clean and it's soft. So soft water, man, it's great. Like no itching, none of that, because that's, again, chemicals and chlorine in the water. But when you really start thinking about it, there's ways you can clean up your house water supply. And one of the neat things about having a house filter system is that you don't have to buy any plastic water bottles anymore. You literally eliminate that stuff. And then changing these filters out, they last for several years before you got to change the filters out on them. We have one of our patients. Her name is Mai. She is a actual representative of EcoWater System, and she gave me permission to give you her contact here. This is her contact number. So if you guys ever thought about having somebody come out and test your water and then show you how clean your water can get, and if you want to go a step further and get a whole EcoWater system for your house, you totally can. But she will come out to your house and do a complimentary, just check all your water, and see how many chemicals are in it, how hard it is. She was telling me she'd be more than happy to help people. So if you call her or text her, just let her know that you heard us on the workshop. You heard about her through the workshop and you want to just have your water tested. She'll be more than happy to come and test you and kind of give you options on what you can do. And it's not the whole house that you have to do. You can get something that goes just over your sink. It's called an RO system, and it's purely for drinking water. It's not for your whole house, but it's right under your sink. It's drinking water, and that was awesome for Shannon and me because you get a tap and you just fill up your water, and it's great. We stopped buying the expensive bottled water after that, which is great because you're not having all the plastic and stuff. So there's ways to do it, but I want to give you her info and just reach out to her. She's there to, glad to help you on this. 3 toxin-filled rooms. This one's really big. We have bathrooms, laundry rooms, and kitchens. This is kind of the parts of the house that really get us into trouble with chemicals. So take your phone out, scan that QR code. Okay, it's going to be the same QR code on each of these slides. So scan it once, and that's going to take you to the Environmental Working Group website, the EWG website. They have an app as well. It's called the EWG Healthy Living app. You can do it that way and check stuff on your phone. But you're going to check your medications, your cleaners, your cosmetics, your shampoos and conditioners, face wash, soaps, hairsprays, fragrance, you name it. All the stuff that you put on you, ladies and guys, check it, test it. What's really good about this is you type in what it is, and it's going to give you all the ingredients that are in it that flag as problematic. And some of these things are going to blow you away. Some of these things you're going to see hormone problems. You're going to see cancer in lab testing. It's going to blow you away, and you're going to go, "How is this in my soap?" Right? There might be corn syrup in your soap because they use corn in shampoos and soaps. It's insane, right? But you'll scan and you can start to check these things out and see where am I getting bombarded with chemicals. If you have a lot of skin issues, men and ladies, it could be from makeup. It could be from the chemicals or the ingredients in your soaps that you think are not even there. It could be something you're allergic to that's breaking you out, and you don't have sensitive skin. You're just having an allergic reaction to some type of a chemical that's in that. Also, in the medicine cabinet particularly, we carry a lot of stuff that we just need to think about logically. Should I be taking this stuff for every sniffle and cough that I have? One of the biggest problems our country has now is we have become antibiotic resistant, meaning antibiotics don't work on us as good as they did 50 years ago because we take them for everything under the sun. When they're needed, you want them to work. Right? When you have a bacterial infection that you need to stop, or really you need antibiotics then, but you do not need them for a viral infection. They don't work on viruses. They work on bacteria. But we take them for everything: runny nose, ear infections, a virus. We take them for all types of sickness. And in most cases, it doesn't help you. All antibiotics do is they destroy bacteria. They destroy good with the bad, which is why you don't want to take them all the time, just when you need them, because it's like dropping a bomb on your gut. It creates a lot of issues. People that go through a round of antibiotics, they usually have a lot of constipation and diarrhea. It messes up the stomach because that's its job. It's killing bacteria, right? So only when needed for a bacterial infection, you want antibiotics, not for every sniffle. Antacids, this is very big too, because the problem with this is people think they're not making enough stomach acid, or they have too much stomach acid. That's why they take an antacid, right? But the reality is your stomach is too alkaline, and you need acidity. You need more acid being built in your stomach. So we take these antacids for the wrong reason, and these things are really damaging because some of these are what's called proton pump inhibitors. And they create a lot of issues down the line through is dementia, Alzheimer's, dementia especially. There's studies that show if you take these proton pump inhibitors for over 5 years, your risk of dementia goes up a lot. So it affects brain function. And then the laxatives, that messes up so you have muscles that line your colon that squeeze the waste out of your body. Laxatives they kind of paralyze that, so it just kind of goes out your body. So in the short term, you're thinking, this is great, I'm just getting this stuff out very fast. Long term, though, it starts to affect the way that your body would naturally get rid of waste. So you become reliant on these laxatives. This is where I was in my early to mid 20s. I was reliant on these things to go to the restroom, and it took a while to get my normal digestion function back because basically I had to kind of get these pathways working like they should. So if you're on a lot of laxatives, it's hard. You have to wean off of those and then start getting your body to do this thing naturally. So huge stuff. I'll talk about how one of the big things that really helped me with getting over not having to rely on the laxatives and actually going to the bathroom normally. I'll get into how that happened here in just a minute, but Also, same QR code, but scan it if you didn't do it before. This is toxins in your kitchen, so you got to look at your cleaners. If your cleaners have skull and crossbone warnings on them, that's probably not the best stuff you want to use to clean your sink and clean your counters, right? Like, I know I'm laughing at this, but like, look at the chemicals. If you got to call poison control, that's not a good thing you're cleaning with. I'm just telling you with love, don't do it. Storage containers, are you storing stuff in plastic? And you're heating up things in plastic, you're freezing things with plastic, switch to glass or ceramic, make it easy, because the plastic leaches out microplastics into your food that you're storing. So just watch your storage containers, pots and pans. Again, make it, again, simple is better. Cast iron or just stainless steel. That's what you want. You don't want all the nonstick. Those are typically Teflon coated or aluminum coated. Don't be heating that stuff. That gets into your food. It's not healthy for you. They ban Teflon everywhere else except America. They haven't banned it here, sadly, but they banned it everywhere else. Let's not put that stuff into our body. And then obviously your food, check your food, look at ingredients. It is frustrating, y'all. It is. I know it. You're going to be mad. You're going to go, well, I paid money for this. I'm going to eat it and then I won't order it again. No, that's not good thinking. Throw it in the trash. Don't eat it because you paid for it. Throw it in the trash. Don't use it. That's the safe way to go. Same thing with your personal care products, your makeups. I know, ladies, you love your makeup. I get it. But if it's poisoning you, if there's metals in your makeup, again, when you see what's in your makeup, it makes you mad. Like, it's probably going to make you more mad than anything else is what's in your makeup, what's it really got in it. But when you find out what's in it, don't just keep taking it. There's better options. There's two good ones there's more now, but there's a couple good ones. Rejuva Minerals is really good. That's an online brand. REJUVA. Rejuva Minerals. My wife uses a lot of Rejuva Minerals products. And then there's also something called Crunchy. You've heard of like the hippie mom, Crunchy mom. I guess that's a term, but there's a makeup brand called Crunchy. And again, same thing. It's just, it's clean stuff you put on your face. And I tell you what, for what my wife says with the powder she uses, she just really uses powder now. But it's not like, it doesn't feel like it's caked on like I guess makeup does. She just feels like she doesn't even have anything on. It's very fresh and powder and just it's very clean stuff. So just ladies, there's hope for you with your makeup. I promise there is. Don't get mad at me. And then laundry room. Oh my gosh, detergent, stain remover, bleach. We actually, I need to post this. I'll probably post this today or tomorrow on our Facebook page. We started using these plant-based sheets. It's not even, so it's detergent sheets, but it's, again, very healthy. I think it's called Eco Health. I think it's called that. I'm not 100%. I'll take a picture of it and show you, but it's an actual sheet. You just put it in there and it just disintegrates and you don't have to pour any type of detergent in there. It's its own plant-based detergent and it does a really good job. We really like it. And it's actually really easy to get the kids to do their own laundry because it's just a little sheet you throw in there and then you turn it on. It's pretty cool. But before then, we used a lot of vinegar to wash our clothes in. Super cheap to use vinegar. You'll laugh at it's like 99 cents for a giant bottle of it. But when we were in England, that's how they cleaned our clothes was with vinegar at the hotels. And we were like, man, our clothes feel so fresh. What'd you guys use to clean them? They're like, vinegar. And we're like, what? So with vinegar, a little goes a long way. And you'll know real quick if you do too much vinegar, your clothes might have a little vinegar smell. It's easy. You just rewash them with nothing else. Just do it again with the water, and then they won't have any vinegar smell. But you'll start learning just a little bit amount of vinegar in there cleans really well. So it's kind of neat. So just little helpful hints on that. But identifying sources is huge. We identify sources of food as well. Now, how do we detox? How do we safely get this stuff out of our body? So you want to pay attention to this. We have a bundle here, a resource bundle. I want to explain it first. That way it makes sense to you guys. So we have two bundles. We have a core bundle and an advanced bundle for the class. The core bundle is the detox system and the cell repair. The advanced is the detox, the cell repair, and the microbiome support. So let me kind of address all three of these. So number one, off the bat, what I like about this detox system is this Pure Path. So I'm talking 2 months ago, it just got switched to the Pure Path regenerative farming blend. So they actually changed the formula up a little bit as well, but it's the same concept. This is a 30-day supply. It's 1 month for one person. And the way you do the detox system, you have what's called a cell detox and a body detox. And you take the cell detox right upon waking up. You take it on an empty stomach. You wait about 30 minutes, then you can eat or take other vitamins or medications, but you do the cell detox right when you wake up, and then you do the body detox right as you're going to bed. So I actually have this supplement, this resource. I would have it on my nightstand because on my nightstand, I'm getting up, I'm going to bed, I'm right there. I don't even have it in the pantry. So it's the only supplement that I would have on the nightstand would be the detox system. What it has in it, we talked about the things like psyllium husk. We talked to things about like magnesium. We talked things about chlorella. We talked about those nutrients that get rid of toxins. Well, the cell detox contains N-acetylcysteine, glycine, glutamine. It also contains a little bit of probiotics as well, but they're cell cleaners. Basically, your body will convert glycine and N-acetylcysteine into glutathione, which is what cleans all your cells. It's the strongest antioxidant in your whole body is glutathione. So the cell detox gets your body to clean out your cells during the day. And then the body detox has the binders like the psyllium husk, like the activated charcoal and the magnesium to help eliminate it from your digestive tract the next day. Super simple, super gentle. It's not a harsh detox by any means. Matter of fact, most people feel really good when they're on this one because it isn't harsh. It's just a natural cellular day-to-day detox that you can do. And it's designed not to just do once every 6 months. I have patients that do it literally every month because they do so well on it. And some people need a detox more than others, but I would say you want to do at least a month. Look how good you do. You'll probably stay on it because it's very effective, very popular. To kind of add on to the detox, because it's a cellular detox, not just for the colon, but it does work on the colon too. We have something called cell repair as well. And what I like about this is an antioxidant formula. This is antioxidant heavy. This is going to really support your body's antioxidant inflammation reducing capabilities, but it also aids quite a bit in what's called phase 2 liver detoxification. So it helps support your liver function as you're detoxing. So it goes really hand in hand with the detox system. Now it has a lot of, we learn them in school, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and selenium. Those are antioxidants. And we learn it as ACEs. So you'll see in the cell repair, it's got a lot of vitamin A in it. It's got vitamin C, vitamin E, and it has a lot of selenium in it. So a very powerful antioxidant formula. Plus, it also has glycine in it. And that's like 400 milligrams of glycine. Glycine is what really helps support your phase 2 liver detoxification. So it's very supportive of the liver. And then it has this 500 milligram bundle of like sulfur containing, vegetables and fruits. It's got aloe in it as well. It's very important to help, again, just feed your body with all these antioxidants to help your liver detox a whole lot easier on you. So it makes the detox just more productive for a person. It works really well. But think of it as an antioxidant formula in the simplest case. But you take 3 of these a day, 3 capsules a day. I would take this with my lunch, probably the best time to take it as your day is going on. And then the microbiome support is strictly to help get into the small intestines, which is where you detoxify, but it's helping put good probiotic bacteria into your body. And they're spore-based probiotics. It's called Saccharomyces, and it's an adult dose. So it's a higher dose than most probiotic strains. So it's 500 milligrams of it, which is several billions of Saccharomyces. But Saccharomyces is spore-based. It's one of the only probiotics that actually will pass through your stomach and not get destroyed by stomach acid, and it makes its way into your small intestines where it needs to be to help balance what's called your microbiome. The good and bad bacteria balance. A lot of people that have like candida and stuff like that, or they have a lot of bowel issues, they have maybe constipation or IBS, or they have Crohn's, their bacteria is really out of balance in the small intestine. So this is putting in good Saccharomyces bacteria into the intestinal tract to help balance it. So again, it works really well with getting the colon back online, working better, and it helps. So it's a very good detox. Again, today on your order forms, if you picked up an order form, it is marked down quite a bit for the core plan and the advanced plan for this detox. But do it for a month. It helps so much. You'll love it. The only rules I would say on doing this is up your water intake more than what you do now. Up it a little bit more. Make sure that you're hydrated during this. You don't want to be dehydrated doing a detox. It doesn't give you the best change. You want to be very well hydrated. Another thing is eating well. You want to make sure that you're not eating junk, no greasy foods, no like fried. Essentially, follow the advanced plan. Eat stuff that doesn't have a whole lot of labels on them, and you're going to do great on this. You'll like it quite a bit. Moving from that. So with this, let me show you this because I'm going to put this. This is how you can make orders. So I'm going to keep this number out here for a second. If you call or text, actually the team would probably prefer you text. That way you don't get hung up on voicemail. Just text what you want, label it, send it to them. They're there at the office to help get this stuff ordered, put together. If you've already put an order in, you want to order this now, it happens. Just text them. They will re-add to your order. Very easy to do. But if you're from out of town and you're going, I don't know, I can't get this, you're not going to have the savings like our patients, because this is something we're doing with our local office. I want you to go to our website, though, drwalldc.com, click on the store tab and order that way. You'll have it delivered to your house. So you'll still get access to these three things, and you can start doing it from your house as well. And if you really like how you feel on it, like how you're doing on it, you can put auto ship on these things, and you save 5% on each supplement. So you do there can be some savings for you now if you do some auto shipping, but that's how you would do it if you're not from the DFW area. Go to Dr. Wall DC and click on that store tab, and you can also order. So I'll kind of leave this up here just for a minute longer as I'm going to these next slides. But this whole thing with stress management, I think it's kind of a misnomer, so to speak, or an oxymoron, because there's, how do you stress less? It's kind of like trying to fight negative with negative. I don't think that's a very good option. I think that harms us in the long run. We need to build peace, because stress in and of itself is a big toxin to our body, to our brain. And in the fact of it messes with our hormones quite a bit. I don't think we realize how bad it is. But if you're a worrier, if you stress a lot, if you have anxiety, depression, you're having panic attacks, if you're having ADD, ADHD, you brain fog, like you can't focus, right? Your mind's going 100 miles a minute. One of the issues is that your body neurologically is in trouble. You're in what's called fight or flight, and you're just staying in fight or flight. If fight or flight is a great thing, we're God made us this way. Like to fight or flight is essentially a neurological response called a sympathetic response, because you have a couple parts to your nervous system. You have sympathetics, which excite your body. You have parasympathetics, which are nerves that calm your body down. So you want, like with anything, you want balance. So say balance. We want balance. Now, when you're stressed, one part of the nervous system is excited. And it's supposed to be when you're in a life or death situation. Like if you are fleeing from trouble, or if you're fighting trouble to save your life, you should have what's called fight or flight, which increases a hormone called cortisol in your body. You've all heard of cortisol. You heard it with weight, but it's more than that. It saves your life. Like cortisol is needed. It's not a mistake. You need cortisol to get away from the danger or to fight the danger. But when that threat is gone, cortisol is supposed to come back down, and you're supposed to woosah and calm down and rest. So cortisol does a lot of things to help you fight off danger or flee from danger. Cortisol amps up your blood pressure and your heart rate speeds up. So you're going to be running away or fighting. So your heart rate's going to be high. Your sensation to pain goes down a lot because you can, you ever heard, people that you get, maybe it may not happen to you, but if you've ever gotten in a fight, you don't notice getting hit during the fight until after you've calmed down from the fight. Or if you've ever being hit or been in an auto accident, you've taken a hit, that adrenaline was going so much that you didn't really maybe notice as bad of a problem as it was until maybe a day or two after. Then you're like, oh my gosh, I am so beat up. Well, because cortisol nulls your pain response some. So you don't notice it all right away. What else does cortisol do? It actually shuts down your digestive system and it floods blood flow to your extremities so you can fight or run away. Again, these are all good things in an emergency situation. These are not good things if your cortisol stays high, and that's why I'm talking about. Think of how much stress you deal with on a day-to-day basis. We're not meant to handle this type of stress. And it's so bad that even kids today are the most depressed. They have the most fear than it's ever been in mankind's history. It's insane how stressed kids are these days, not to mention adults, but just you look at how many medications the kids are on for mental health and then grownups, and it skyrocketed during COVID. You talk about all that fear, that skyrocketed this problem to the next stratosphere. So we're doing this stuff and we're not practicing peace. I think it's always good to build up from the inside out. We build up our peace, and there's some simple things you can do that you might not realize are so vital that can calm your brain down, they can calm your body down, and you're going, no way, that's just too simple, right? The problem is people have become so dependent on a drug to fix their problem when God provided us ways to calm our bodies down without drugs. He did. So how do we practice peace? Easy ways. Number one, get outside. Get outside. Get outside barefoot and get in your grass and ground. So you'll hear me say something called grounding or earthing. It means the same thing, but what it does, it connects you to the earth, and wherever you have grass, dirt, rocks, wood, that's outside, that's part of the ground, even cement that's not stained. You can ground from being barefoot or hands on it or any type of exposed skin touching the ground. You hold a current. So the earth has a current, an electromagnetic field, and then we as humans have an electromagnetic field around us. And if you don't think that we're electrical, shuffle on the carpet and then go touch somebody that you love and you'll shock them that you hold a current. And because we are inside all the time, where you cannot ground because your house is grounded, so you're not going to hold a current in your house if you're barefoot, but you will outside, right? You will. And then when we're outside, how many of us wear rubber shoes or rubber sandals? You won't ground. You cut off, it blocks the grounding effect. So that's why I'm saying get out and for 30 minutes a day, start sitting in the grass or stand on the grass and get some vitamin D from the sun. The sun's a good thing. It's not the bad guy. It's not your enemy. You need sun. You need sun for survival. I guarantee you in 30 minutes, you will have some peace. Your body will calm down. It's crazy how fast it works. I started doing this 2 years ago after I hit my head really bad. And I can tell you it helped so well. We started researching grounding. We watched a documentary as well called The Earthing Movie, and you can watch it for free off of YouTube. It's so simple, it's free to do, and it's so easy to do. It works well. We went to the extent that I have grounding mats. I'm actually sitting on my feet. I'm in my house. My feet are on a grounding mat right now as I'm doing this class. So I'm grounding, which is great for reducing inflammation, which is great for reducing anxiety, for calming your body down. But it's also really good for electromagnetic radiation, which we'll talk about in the next slide. It helps your body, again, handle that a lot better too. But we have a grounding mat on our bed sheet. We sleep on a bed mat. That's a grounding mat. So we're always trying to get reconnected, and it's amazing. That's one main thing. Walk outside. Walk. It'd be better if you walked. If you're close to a park, go walk in some nature. Go walk at a state park. Um, Walk a trail. If you can't walk around your neighborhood, that's fine too. But just get outside, get walking. It's beautiful in the mornings right now. Make sure you're journaling. That's a lot of times if your mind's going a million miles a minute. I don't journal per se, but I write my to-do list down on paper every single day because that helps me mentally check things off. And I, again, mentally, that helps me not stress a lot by doing that. But I read every day and I read not only, different things with health. But I first thing right out of the bat with my routine is I'll read the Bible or read my Bible app if I'm doing like a study guide for a week. I do a lot of those too, but like I read, that's my very first thing I do for about 30-40 minutes. And then I get my exercise in because that de-stresses me quite a bit. I can't get it in after the afternoon. I do it in the morning when everybody's asleep. I get it done. Um, and then I'm ready for the day. And you'd be amazed because in our office, we have a lot of people, and a lot of people we have to kind of handle with love. I mean, because some people are just in such bad shape that they're mean. They're mean. They're very discouraged. And so a lot of what we have to do as we're helping people chiropractically, we have to kind of guide them through this and give them hope. Most people just don't. They're not given hope these days, and it sucks. And there's I mean, you need hope. I mean, goodness, that's such a big thing, but it helps you handle your day because you're gonna have stuff thrown at you every day, and you're not gonna escape stress. But man, if you're handling it better, that is an amazing thing, and that will make your cortisol not so high during the day. And then obviously quality time with family, that's huge. Get out, walk with your family. Get out and just do life together. That's kind of what our pastor always says. And it's a great concept, and it helps a lot with lowering the cortisol. The wired devices, man, this is big. We need a technology detox. And some of the biggest contributors to this are going to be like your cell phone, your laptops, microwave, cell phone towers, all that stuff. But if you didn't know this, you're being bombarded with electromagnetic radiation. We talked about a personal electromagnetic field that the earth has, that our bodies have. Electromagnetic radiation, or EMR, these are things because of electronic components. There's so much of that now that each of these give off some level of radiation. Now, while it might be low in short doses, how many of you never take that cell phone out of your pocket, right? Your cell phone's on you at all time. The cell phone, even though you might have it, you're not making a call, um, even though you might not be, on a call, that cell phone, if you got Wi-Fi on, if it's not on airplane mode, it's conducting current and it's shooting out electromagnetic field or radiation to wherever you are around, and it does about 6 to 10 inches. That's how far it shoots out. So if you're on a cell phone, you got it up against your face or up against your ear, it's bombarding. It penetrates your skull. It does. So one thing that I got for my phone, let me pop this up the big screen so you guys can see it. This is something I got for my cell phone. See, doesn't look. It opens up. This is my cell phone, and this part on it that flaps over, this is lined with electromagnetic blocker. So what's cool about this, I can still hear through the top and hear through the bottom, but I can put this up to my ear and make a phone call because I don't like to talk like this. I just don't like everybody to hear my conversation. So I've always liked doing this. But if you've ever been on a phone call and you feel it, the phone gets really hot, your ear gets real red. That's the radiation coming out of your phone frying your head. This blocks it, so it's not coming through at all this way. Oh, sorry, it's opposite. The screen's opposite of what I'm doing, so there's no radiation coming in to my brain. It's pretty cool. So that's a blocker. And it kind of acts as it's got a little wallet feature there too, which is kind of cool. But also, let me pop this thing out because I want to show you guys. We also have, before I got this, pop it out here so you can see it. On the back of it, So I can't get them off, so I added a new one. But this is a company called Safe Space. This is called Wave Shield. Both of these are EMF blockers as well. They block radiation. Doesn't really affect my phone too much as far as like the service and everything, but I got it all over my phone. We got it on the kids' tablets, on the laptops. We got our Wi-Fi router. We have one hooked up on the Wi-Fi router. It helps quite a bit, and it just blocks that EMF from us, which again, it creates some big problems. You got to watch out for these electromagnetic fields. And it's really crazy. As I move the phone around here to show you like this, the feedback I got in my earphones, I'm getting static feedback right here. And as soon as I move it away from me, I don't have the static feedback. How crazy is that? That's crazy. So really protect yourself. These phones give off a ton, but protect yourself from your Wi-Fi. Turn your Wi-Fi off at your house. That is a huge thing at night. Turn the Wi-Fi off. You're going to sleep anyways. You want to sweat. Sweat releases toxins. We are designed to sweat. We need to sweat every day. From a detoxing matter, it cleans out your body. Sweat every day. I mean, every day, whether it's sauna, whether it's outside running, biking, whether it's walking or hiking, whether it's lifting weights, whatever you do, sweat. It is good to sweat. You need to sweat. If you don't sweat, there's a problem. You probably have a lot of toxic buildup in your body. And if you start detoxing, you'll notice after a couple of months, you're going to be sweating a whole lot more. That's going to be very helpful for you. So it improves circulation. It's great for your lymphatic system. It releases toxins. And matter of fact, plastics can get sweated out of your body as well, because we are all have an exposure to microplastics. That stuff's get out of your body really well. And then find your routine. Discipline creates success. Discipline creates freedom. Planning this stuff out is big. So plan out your brain time to really meditate, to pray, to read something encouraging, not the news, not the fear-based stuff, none of that, but something that's inspiring you, that makes you, it puts you in a good state to handle the day. Get your exercise scheduled so you can sweat, but you have a regular time that is your exercise time, and nothing changes that. You have your meal planning out, what you're going to eat, what you're going to make. You have your supplement time. This is when I take my supplements. You have that structured out, right? Your work routine, your home life routine. Getting stuff structured and planned out makes such a big difference. And you have the freedom that these things are getting done that are going to help you be a healthier version of you. You're getting them done, and you're not trying to wing it. The worst mistake people make is they try to wing it with their health. It's not going to work really good. Oh, patience, when you're getting your adjustments, stick to your adjustment schedule, your day and time. Like, that's your time. Like, that's big. If you're coming all over the place, it's hard to stay on track. Your home rehab, find a routine with the home care. It can be split up. You can do it all at once, but make sure you have that routine. It's yours, because that means you'll do it, you'll stick with it, and you'll get the best change with your care in the office as well. Because that's kind of what it boils down to. We've talked about a lot of things that have supported function, like detoxing, like nutrition, like oxygen and exercise, supplementing. Those are all great things that help influence the body's function. But there's one thing that controls your body's function, and it controls your health. Health is 100% function, like we talked about. It is run by your brain. Your brain is the master organ system in your body through your spinal cord and your nerves, which is also called the central nervous system. Those things tell your body and organs how to actually work and function. Without it, you don't live. You're not alive. This system builds you when you're a baby as well. It's a master control system. It's something that Dr. Palmer quoted years ago that I love. Is while other professions are concerned with changing the environment to suit a weakened body. Does that make sense to people? So somebody that's really sick and they're just taking a bunch of medications, or they're having a lot of shots or a lot of surgeries, nothing was ever done to get healthy to that person. So there's still a weakened body taking a bunch of chemicals to try to get healthy. Not the best way to do it. Or Chiropractic is concerned with strengthening the body to suit the environment. It's all about building your body up from the inside out so you can handle the environment better. And there's a couple paths. You can take both paths, or you can pick one, but you got to pick one path. Do you want the path that, we're taking 10, 15 medications to get healthy? That'll never happen. You're never going to be healthy that way. Or do we get our body healthy and we have a really good doctor that's allowing us to wean off of some of these medications because we're actually getting healthier? There's good doctors out there. There really are, that'll work with you, that will, as you get healthier, they'll gladly wean you off the meds because they know you're getting healthier. Like, work with those type of doctors, work with those type of nurses. The ones that are just throwing drugs at you and then see me in a year and they don't tell you anything about how to get well, stop going to those doctors, right? Stop doing that. That is not going to be the best thing, for you. So when it comes to chiropractic and when it comes to detoxing, this is what's so big when it comes to chiropractic and what I love about it. It helps your body detox. It just does. And it helps your body detox in a great way. When I was talking about myself, I had a lot of asthma growing up and a lot of, there we pop back on. Thank goodness. Got the Wi-Fi back. All right. That stinking Wi-Fi. But one of my things was I had asthma for 20 plus years of my life. And I was still puffing inhalers. I still had breathing machines. I was still taking prednisone and Albupen when I was 23 years old. I had a lot of lung issues. I couldn't run without a breathing machine. And I would always get, especially when the seasons changed, I would get very susceptible to asthma attacks. Very scary if you've ever had an asthma attack. Talk about being giving you anxiety. It would give you a lot of anxiety because you can't breathe. It's very scary. But as I was in my early 20s and I was, playing football at Pine Bluff, I started noticing that I was having digestive issues too. I was trying out for the NFL. So you have to get, I had an agent at the time, and I was going to all these different tryouts for arena football, for NFL Europe, for Canadian football, and then for the NFL. You're trying to do all this stuff and go to different places and spending a lot of money on traveling. Well, what I noticed was my knee started really hurting me. My kicking leg started hurting me really bad. And I couldn't actually punt a football because I couldn't fully extend my knee all the way like you should. And I went to see a buddy of mine. His dad was an orthopedic specialist, and he determined that I had really bad shin splints, and I had inflammation in my knee joint as well. So at the time, this is 2002, 2003. So he prescribed me Celebrex, and it was a lot. It was 1,600 milligrams a day of Celebrex, and I had to take that. I think the prescription was for about 2-3 weeks of it. And I kid you not, in about 2 weeks, I had to stop the Celebrex because I stopped going to the bathroom. Literally just stopped. And it just shut down the bowels. And so for a couple of weeks, I didn't go to the restroom. And then I'm panicking. And so I'm a pre-med major, but I wasn't a chiropractor. I was in school. I was wanting to be a surgeon. And I'm like, holy cow, I need to get these toxins out of my body. So I went to the laxatives, like I talked about before. I went to the harsh stuff to just get it out of the body because I knew I didn't want it staying. So I was getting rid of the body, but I was short-term gain, long-term failure. And I determined really quick that, holy cow, if Celebrex did this to my body, what's it doing to other people's bodies? Do people know it can really shut their bowels down? Then I looked up the side effects of Celebrex, and good God, there's a laundry list of side effects. I'm like, I wasn't told this. I was told this was going to help my knee pain. And I got mad because I wasn't told everything. And I decided I just didn't really want to do that. I didn't want to do that to people. I didn't want to prescribe people medications. I wanted to help people differently. And I was coming down from Pine Bluff because I still was my last semester, and I went back. And I remember telling my microbiology teacher about my gut issues, and he's like, you know what? He's like, you should go see my chiropractor. And of course, I'm like, why would I see a chiropractor? My gut's not working, man. Like, what does that mean? And so he explained to me what chiropractic was, what he thought of it at the time, and how it really helped him. And I'm like, okay, I'll go see this person. And I remember it changed my life. I go in there, and during tests, they x-ray my spine. I'm like, why are you x-raying my spine? I can't go to the bathroom. Why? What does it have to do with my spine? I still didn't really get it. I was still very medically minded. And then he shows me the x-rays, and that's when, man, my life changed in an instant. I look at my x-rays, and my spine in my lower back, it's not straight and protected like it should be. I have this bend in my back. From years of kicking footballs, from years of punting footballs, from the repetitive, I did it thousands of times a week, kicking and punting footballs. It's like golf, the repetition, you get so good at it that when you're in a game situation, you're not worried about that. You just going through the motions because you've done it a million times, right? And I remember seeing my spine. I'm like, holy cow, 10 plus years of punting and kicking footballs. That makes sense. Look what it did to my spine and my hips. And then he goes, but check this out. He goes, I bet you're having a lot of bowel issues too. And I'm like, how can you tell that? And you could see all my large intestines on the x-ray because it was just black, all these black spots, which was buildup in the intestinal tract. And I remember going, oh my gosh, this is scary and crazy. How do I get rid of this? And so I started getting adjusted there, and then I actually started doing so good that I wanted to change. I actually switched. I still got my degree in biology pre-medicine, but I enrolled in chiropractic college in Texas. And about 3-4 months later, I started chiropractic school at Parker in Dallas, and the rest is history. But it's changed my life. But here's the crazy thing. I'm getting adjusted pretty quick. I noticed that I started to go to the restroom without taking a laxative. And that was crazy cool to see that. But then in a couple of months, I was going like every other day without a laxative, which is great. And then a couple more months later, I started going every day, sometimes twice a day, like normal stuff. I started noticing I didn't have to take the laxatives. And it made a huge change in my life with that. And then at the same time that was going on, I didn't even mention my asthma to this guy. I never mentioned it, breathing issues, not once to him. And as I was getting adjusted, not just up there in Pine, but in Texas, I started seeing that I wasn't wheezing as much. I was breathing a lot easier. I was handling the outside a lot better. My allergies weren't killing me like they usually are. And then get this, I've started to exercise because I wanted to get in shape because I kind of got out of shape in my last semester in college. And I'm like, well, I need to do some cardio and run. And I start running. Well, I could run a mile without wheezing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is nuts. I've never been able to do this. I've always had to carry an inhaler when I run in case I start having an asthma attack. And then a couple months later, I'm running 2 miles. Then I'm running 3. And then it gets even crazier. I start getting this grand idea, like, you know what? Maybe at some point I could do like a marathon or like a long distance event. Well, at 34, I did my first Ironman triathlon. I've done 4 of those. I've done 5. I've done 5. I've done 5 marathons, full distance. I've done 23 half marathons. I've done a ton of triathlons that were like sprint and Olympic distance. You have to have good lungs to do that stuff. And if you would have told my 22-year-old self that I would be doing like endurance sports, I would have laughed you out of the room because there's no way I could have done it back then. So in the midst of correcting my spine, I saw my lungs got better. They got stronger. So I tell people all the time, when you think chiropractic is about like back pain or neck pain, that's like telling me like this iPhone I have is great for making phone calls. And that's it. There is so much I can do on this phone beyond making a phone call or a text. That's how chiropractic is with your body and your health. It does way more than you think because it's never been about your pain. I'm not saying this to be mean. It's never been about pain. It's always about removing pressure on the nervous system so your body operates and functions better. Now that's what chiropractic is. But when it comes to detoxing in general, the organs that run your detoxing pathways are your skin, liver, kidneys, digestive system, and your glands. But look at this chart. All of those organs, plus all your other organs, the only way they work, you have nerves that literally attach to these organs and stimulate them to do their job. But those nerves, they come out of your spinal cord, and that's connected to your brain. So that's how your brain talks to your body. It's through your nerves. And so signals go down the cord, they go out the nerves, and they run all your organs. That's how it works. Now, the chiropractic part of this How does it influence your organ function? This is so key you get this. It's because surrounding your nerves are bones. So they're not damaged or cut, right? That makes sense. I know that makes sense to you. So just like your skull protects your brain, thank God, because I mean I've had concussions and I'm glad I got a skull to protect that. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have a skull. You have 24 bones that surround your or your spinal cord called the column. And the cord goes down the middle of them, and then nerves come out the sides of these because there's holes in these bones. And your spine protects your spinal cord from damage that way. It doesn't just hold you up, it guards your life force that powers your body. That's essentially what it does. We're made well. But if your spine gets misaligned due to trauma, due to life, due to different things, it actually it impedes the pressure on those nerves, and those nerves cannot transmit their info or the power to whatever organ or cell or muscle that nerve attached to. Some people, it's pain. Most people, they don't notice pain for a long time, for years. I just had a patient this morning who's checking, just found out, she's in her 60s. She just found out she had scoliosis like 3 years ago. She did not feel the scoliosis. Her spine was not straight. It was like a C, a big one. Felt nothing. She's in her 60s. She's had that since she was probably in her teens or 20s. Had no idea that was going on up until a couple years ago when she started feeling a problem. It's sneaky. You don't know the stuff in most cases is going on. So how do you know? You got to test. And that's what we do. We check the spines of our patients when they come in. We do thermography. We do posture analysis. We do range of motion testing. We do x-rays to check for problems, subluxations. Where is the spine out of alignment? How can we help restore it as close to normal as we can? In patients, you guys know this, like that's what we do with you every day you're in the office. We are removing that interference by adjusting your spine gently and specifically so your body can function better. And it's such a cool thing when we say, your power's on. When we turn the power on, you come in, you leave a different person. You leave, you're always better leaving the office than when you come in. Some of this is so drastically extreme that I have people that literally come in and they look really bad. And then they're leaving the office, they're smiling, they're talking to the front desk. When they came in, they were just like talking to nobody, kind of mean. It's some of those changes are that fast because hormones change when you're adjusted. You detox change when you're adjusted. Your mood can change when you're adjusted. It's the coolest thing. And like I said, that's why just after 18 years, and I'm beat up from adjusting you guys for 18 years. It takes its toll on me, but I love doing it because I love seeing your lives change and improve. And it's even more important to me that you see it, how your life is impacted by, chiropractic. And so we love doing it. These are big warning signs that happens to people, that it's a nerve problem and they need to check their spine. It's not just a random warning sign or a random symptom. It's like headaches. The nerves in your neck control your blood flow. It's your vagus nerve. The very top of the neck specifically, there's usually a misalignment of the neck that's causing the headaches to keep happening. So if you have frequent headaches and you're not getting any success with that, make sure you get your spine checked properly. Same thing, ladies, cycle issues. I can tell you that you need to look at your hips. You need to look at your sacrum. And you look at your lumbar, your lower back. Those nerves, something's going on that's causing, because those nerves run your reproductive organs. And I promise you, in most cases, there's something going on that's limiting the nerves that's going to those areas and it's giving you havoc. You don't have to have terrible cycles your whole life. You don't have to have painful cycles. You don't have to have irregular cycles. I mean, that stuff is hard. Endometriosis, fibroids, you don't have to have that stuff. You can get better. You just got to check your nerves and then work on that, like work on correcting that. Numbness and tingling, dizziness, fatigue, reflux. These are big things. And I'll just say this. If you are watching this and you're not an actual patient in my office and you have these things going on with you and you have never checked your spine, that's the thing. What was that comedian? Here's your sign. That's your sign. You need to check your spine and your nervous system. Do it. Get it checked by somebody that does corrective adjusting, corrective chiropractic care. We will help you if you're in the DFW area and you want to get yourself checked. Normally, I don't know if you've ever had x-rays done of your spine before. They're ridiculous. A couple years ago, I thought I cracked a rib and it was a Monday, so our office is not open on Mondays. So I went to the local ER clinic and took 2 x-rays. Get this. the just walking in the clinic, I didn't even fill out my name. She's like, "Do you have insurance?" I go, "No, I don't. I have Medishare. They don't take that. So it's $500 for your appointment right off the bat, just walking in." So I'm like, do I really want to know if I have a fractured rib? So like, okay, it's $500 just to walk in. I was there for 30 minutes. They took 2 x-rays. They didn't show me the x-rays. They just took 2 x-rays, told me I didn't have a fracture. It was probably just chondritis. I was gone in 30 minutes. The x-ray portion was $1,100 on top of the $500 just to see the doctor. And I didn't even get a copy of my x-rays, man. So it can be nuts. It can be nuts. We do full exam, we do x-rays, we do thermography. You talk with either myself or Dr. Carter. So you all of that is $105 for that whole first visit of testing, which is just, ridiculously minimal to have that looked at, right? If you're watching this though now and you're like, man, I want to go check these guys out, call our office. The number's down there. You can call the office, 817-886-7545. We'll actually waive that entire cost for you to come into the office this week and have that all checked out. Like we won't charge for that visit. Even if we have to x-ray, that's going to be because you took your time for not even being part of the office to watch this, and we want to help you. And again, our office, we do a three-day process. We do the exam and stuff on the first day. On the set, if we have to do x-rays, that means we found misalignments in your spine. We're going to bring you back and do an adjustment, see how your body responds to that. That's such a cool visit because people's eyes literally get opened when they realize, holy cow, I could be feeling like this. All these years, I didn't think I could get better at all. It's an amazing thing, but we see how the body responds. And then we bring you back on a third visit and we just go over, okay, this is the rehab we need to do. This is the recommendations. These are the goals. And then it's up to you if you want to be a patient with us or not. But we help a ton of people that way. And, a lot of you guys that are patients, I mean, we always love hearing from you. Let us know how has what we've done impacted your life. It doesn't matter how big or small, just how's it impacted your life? Has it impacted your life? And we love to hear from you. So yeah, comment, let us know on that. But call the number if you're interested in getting an exam done. I think that's huge. 817-886-7545. And the action steps, guys, I'm glad you're sticking with us here. So this is what we kind of summarize this. Go through your house, throw away all the sources of toxicity. There are others, yes, there are. But we'd have a 4-hour conversation if we went through it's everything we can. But we really want to hit the indoor environment because there's so much we can clean up around us at our own house. It helps. Check your spine, check your nervous system. That's huge. Enroll in the 30-day Terminate Toxins Challenge. So this is exciting for you guys that are patients. If you want to do the 30-day challenge, this is how you do it. Take your phone, text our office number, 817-886-7545, and then text the word 30 Detox to our office number. So you put 30, just like it looks, 30 Detox, all together, no space. And you'll text it. You're going to get in about 5 to 10 minutes, a text message sent back to you that starts the challenge. And then the next 30 days, you're going to get mostly an email a day that your first email is going to be going through your kitchen and going through the household cleaners and how to guide that challenge of putting the bad stuff out of your house and getting good cleaners. So it goes through little things each day for 30 days. And what's great about this, it's not overwhelming you, but also what's really good about it is you've made little changes every day for 30 days and your house will be a completely different house. And in 30 days, you're going to have a big understanding on how good detoxing, can be. Plus you're also doing, the detoxing protocol as well. So text 30 Detox to 817-886-7545. And you can start the challenge, right away. So super awesome, super good. And we just ran, I know this was a tough one. We just ran a little bit over. So what I want to do here, let me do Q&A here. Let me go to comments, check all this stuff out here. A lot of comments today, which is great. But if you have questions right now in the comment, ask us questions. Does something kind of, confuse you? Did something I say, you need an explanation on? Ask us in the comment section right now. Awesome. Awesome. So good. So many people are watching. This is great. So, Mr. Ron, he has a good question. So we have a well in Poolville. Do we need a filter? Possibly. Every well is a little bit different. Depends on what type of minerals. If there is some fluoride down there, I think it's a good idea just to uh, get it checked. But also the hardness of the water. There could be some chlorine in that well water. You never know how it's delivered to your house. Maybe something's in the pipes that's in there. I don't know if you notice or not, but there's a lot of the piping is so old in our country that they're going to have to start changing out the pipes because they're just eroding from the inside out. And I don't think of us understand. So when it erodes, you get a lot of like lead, a lot of that stuff gets into the water as well. So I think this is a really good question. But I would always say check. Like I had no idea how bad our water was, and we're in kind of border of White Settlement and Aledo. Get it checked. I think that's really important. Here's another one from Miss Laura. Take your multivitamins since it's so nutrient rich. Should we need other vitamins that are in the multi? I would say with the vitamin D3, yes. Essential fats, yes. But you don't have to like. And there's some extremes. So that's a good question. Everybody's a little bit different on this, but I would say if you have like chronic fatigue, um, in addition to the multivitamin, you probably should take a B complex. But if you're not chronically fatigued, multivitamin should be fine. Yeah. So there's some truth in your statement. Yes, it is very nutrient dense. Just make sure that you're taking enough vitamin D. I only think that they just change it, but I think it's only about it's not 5,000 IUs of vitamin D in the multivitamin. So I would make sure you're getting at least 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. So we have our D by itself, which is 5,000. We also have the dropper. So each drop is 2,000 IUs. So you just do like 3 drops or so a day. So there is some truth to that, yes. But at the same time, for a multivitamin, sometimes you need a little extra. You might need extra magnesium. I take extra magnesium just for muscles and fatigue and inflammation. You might need extra omega-3 fats. You might need extra, antioxidants. I will say this: if you do the detox system, I think it's really important that you do take the multivitamin because as good as the detox is, it's pulling it's pulling toxins out of your body. It'll pull some metals out of your body, but it might also pull some minerals and some vitamins out of your body because it's a cellular detox. So it's good to have the multivitamin as a buffer while you're detoxing. So that's a good question. So for some people, yes. For others, you need to take some additional stuff with the multivitamin. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Miss Kathy. So crunchy is awesome. Yes, it is. It is. So if you like that type, if you're looking for a new makeup line, that there you go. Crunchy, Rejuva minerals. Those are both really good. I think that's really big. Not getting the QR code to work. Okay, so if you're not getting the QR code to work, you just if you put your phone in picture mode, like you're gonna take a picture, not video but picture, it should pop the link up. Touch it. It should take you to the EWG app or the. If not, go to your app store. It's free to download the EWG Healthy Living app. It'll be a white with green letters. It'll pop up. Download that. That's actually even better because that's on your phone and you can use it anywhere you're at. So if you're thinking of something, you don't got to wait till you get home. You just pop it up on the app on your phone and search stuff. So the EWG app is big, but the QR code should work because I tested them out um, like 2 days ago. Let's see here. Yeah, so if you guys are trying to order stuff, just text the front desk. Yeah, text the front desk. That's big. Depending on when you're watching this, they might be gone. I think they'll definitely be gone by 1 o'clock. So just text them now. They'll have everything ready when you come in. Come in Tuesday, get your stuff. I'll say this lovingly. If you order something today, don't wait 2 weeks to come get it. Like, don't leave it just sitting on our ground in a bag. Come this week, even if it's not your normal week, come this week, pick it up. Because I want you to start it. I don't want you to wait 2 weeks, man. We don't want to do that. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there, Ron, just to get out in the country. There's something healing about that. I think that's pretty amazing to get out there. That's where I want to go now. I want to go to the mountains or the beach. I think that's really big. Let's see here. Okay, Stevie's got a good question. Is so dry brushing? Explain that a little bit with detoxifying. Is that like oil pulling? Is that so what do you mean by that? So text me, or put a comment in there, Stevie. Let me know what you're talking about with that. Because I've heard that it's a few different ways. I want to see kind of where your mind is on that one with detoxifying at home. Sometimes that can be good. Something very simple. You can dry brush. You can actually get in a very hot Epsom salt, magnesium salt bath, detox that way through your skin, exfoliate your skin. Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought you were thinking. So yeah, so with lymphatic drainage, thank you, Stevie, for responding back. Yes, you want to push everything towards the heart when you're doing any type of lymphatic drain. That's key. That way, it just filters that stuff out. There's a lot of good to that. So with that being said, the best way, there's a couple ways. If you have a access to an infrared sauna, you can be getting lymphatic drain all over. Now a lot of people will hold lymphatic drainage here, and even on the back, but a lot here and a lot right through here. So you want to kind of get that going to the heart area. But if you can't sweat it out in a sauna to do that, then I would recommend getting in a very hot Epsom salt bath. That opens up the pores, that heats up your body. And then, yeah, it's not a hard, it's just, you're just gently just pushing down lymphatic drainage to the heart area. That's kind of where you want to go. So as long as the direction is going to the heart, that's kind of what I've had a lymphatic drain before. And that's kind of what I picked up, is everything just kind of goes towards, the heart. But that's great to do. If you can do that every day, totally fine, very easy. And you can spend just a few minutes a day just kind of draining everything to the heart. That's great. That actually is helpful with getting your lymphatic pathways open. Sweating helps the lymphatic pathways as well, very big. Here we go. Miss Cindy, good. I'm glad you got on. She's got a good question. How many cell repair microbiomes do we need with the core detox? Okay, so the core detox is going to be just the detox system and then cell repair. The microbiome is on the advanced detox. So you get 3 of them with the advanced. You just get the core detox. You just get the detox system and the cell repair. But the cell repair, you take 3. I would take them at lunch, just 3 at a time. The microbiome support, you just take 1 at night. And then with the detox system, for the cell detox, you take 2 right when you get up. And then the body detox, you take 2 right before you go to sleep. So pretty simple how you take that. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Great questions so far. If anybody have any more questions, now is the time. I'll wait about another minute or so, because I know you guys are you've been on. We're so thankful you guys joined us with this. It's great. But hopefully that helps. But yeah, I'll post a few things on just some products that I take. There's some things that have helped Shanna and me around the house. I'll post a few things this week coming up of things that we're using that might give you some insight, like especially the laundry sheet things. Those have really been helpful to us. There's a couple different different things with deodorants and stuff like that. We get a lot of questions on what deodorants you use. Obviously, don't use anything with aluminum in it or any type of metals in it. And so antiperspirants, we want to sweat, but we don't want to stink either. So there's some things that are really making a difference with us. So I think you guys will like that. I'll even take some pictures of these grounding mats and just kind of show you what I'm talking about for that. And then the EMR blockers. So hopefully that's giving you some insight as to how to really pursue this and get better. So looks like that's about all the questions that we got. So we're so glad that you joined me, and we love you guys, and share this with family and friends. This is a big thing that people are very unaware of when it comes to toxicity. So we love you guys. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Okay.